The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
Summer, summer, summer of 86 at 40.
Welcome back to the Brandon Peters Show for the last movie discussion piece of the of the summer of 86 at 40, a weekend by weekend look at the films from the summer of 1986 and the pop culture that surrounded them. Joining me today from Puck News and the Outside Scoop, which this week is It's Miller time. Guests over 21 and over can enjoy themselves a beer float, 2 scoops of vanilla, and a mug filled with Miller Lite. Scott Mendelson.
Is like an adults only ice cream the equivalent of like an action figure that's like $30 and recommended for ages 18 and up? Because I've seen that. I thought like a Power Rangers figure that was like literally recommended for ages 18 and up. It's like, what the fuck? It's an action figure, man. Anyway.
Welcome. All right. And
thank you.
From Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla, out now with Aaron and Abe, and We Live Entertainment. He likes bright lights and big titties. Aaron Neuwirth.
It happens sometimes. Podcasts come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant. But I'll never have a podcast like this again. Nope.
No.
Jesus.
It was the summer of 16. Oh, wait, wrong. Oh, sorry.
Hi. Oh, all right. This episode will be our last movie coverage episode, looking at the weekend that was August 22nd through 24th, 1986. Next week, we conclude the summer of 86 at 40 with our results episode where we have a reflection on it. We talk our top 10, our least favorite, our favorite discoveries, and we have a surprise film we're talking about. So you have to come back. I'm not saying what it is. You'll have to come back.
I don't remember what it is.
You'll have to come back and see the icon for it. It is the thrill ride of the summer, if you'll remember.
Platoon, that'll be fun.
Yes. But hey, we got to get to business. We have another 5-movie banger, the last one. So
fortunately, they're all like 90 minutes long. So yes. Kudos.
So let's head into our first film, Touch and Go.
In this economy?
Playing in 51 theaters.
When you're the hottest name in sports, you expect the crowds to cheer you.
Excuse me.
The girls to chase you.
I'd give anything for your autograph.
And the world to love you. What you don't expect is a kid to mug you. And then his mother to attack you.
Shut up! So, what did he do?
You tried to mug me.
He tried to mug you?
Yeah.
Sir, he's 4 feet tall.
Michael Keaton has a family full of problems. And the family isn't even his.
You're a mess. Financially, professionally, socially, and emotionally, a mess.
He's got a kid who won't behave.
You participated in a felony. You should be in the slammer.
He's got a woman who won't give up.
Oh, excuse me. What? I'm looking forward to Friday.
He's got trouble that won't go away.
Oh, you're real tough. I'll tell you about tough, man. You know, when I was about your age, right?
What are you telling me for? I look like Bill Donahue?
This is hopeless. This can never work with us.
I know. How do you know that?
Does he look like a man in love? Does she look like a woman who will let him off the hook?
What?
Yeah. Touch and Go. Coming from TriStar Pictures.
It's directed by Robert Mandel, his follow-up to the movie FX. Written by Alan Ormsby. He wrote Cat People, Popcorn, Porky's 2, and The Substitute. Bob Sand, who was a writer for Full House and Laverne and Shirley. And Harry Columby, who wrote Johnny Dangerously, produced Mr. Mom, The Squeeze, Speechless, and Breakdown. So he's got a Keaton connection. And then starring Michael Keaton, Maria Conchita Alonso, Ajay Naidu, John Riley, and Maria Tucci. Our composer is George Delarue and Sylvester LeVay, who Sylvester, remember, did Howard the Duck. Delarue has a career of 407 credits, one of which is Platoon. The movie was shot by Richard H. Klein, also a veteran of Howard the Duck. The movie is about a hockey star. He's accosted by a youth gang who attempt to rob him. After he chases them off, he catches the youngest member and gives him a ride home, where he meets the boy's mother.
Roof.
Yes, where he meets the boy's mother. A romantic plot ensues, as well as a confrontation with the gang leaders.
Off a roof.
Off a roof. The movie was filmed in 1984, intended for an 85 release, but got shelved because of a distribution change where it was rescored in the process.
Off a roof.
Off a roof. So, Aaron, touch and go.
You really had to dig in for me to remember which movie this was. By the time finally when you got to Keaton, I was like, oh yeah, this one. This was kind of a ride because I'm like, what is this movie trying to be as I was watching it? I'd never heard of it before. And I was like, oh, there's like another Keaton drama before Clean and Sober. What's this? What's this one? And it's like clearly like early Keaton, like he's coming off of Night Shift and whatnot. So he's like
summer of 82 at 40, we had his breakout with Night Shift, and now he's starting to get some regular work here.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, so like it's a hockey movie, and I'm like, I like hockey movies. They tend to be fun. It's like, is this gonna be like a slap shot, but like maybe more serious? And then it's like, no, we're not doing that at all. And I'm like, all right, so we're not really a hockey movie. Then it's like, okay, so is it like a buddy, young little kid, grown up guy, buddy comedy kind of thing, like Life of Mikey or something like that? It's like, a little bit. And notably, the kid is like Samir from Office Space, and I'm like, oh, he's playing a Latino boy. That's fun. Because it's in Agenda Deer in the credits, and I'm like, oh, so he's like really young, and it's like, oh, he's not even, he's playing Latino. A real Cliff Curtis situation going on over here. I see. Because then if I gets the Then it was the 80s. There are excuses. Then it finally gets to Maria Conchita Alonso's character. It's like, oh, so it's like a rom-com. That's what we're doing. And even then, it's like, I mean, kinda, like, not really. And so, like, what is this movie supposed to be? It is so all over the place. It's occasionally funny just because Michael Keaton knows how to sell a line, and he has chemistry with everybody. So, like, it like kind of gets to where it's got to go, but it's like it's so meandering in the kind of movie it wants to be, in a way that could be cute in like an indie movie, but for like a studio movie, it's just like, what's the point here? Like, what are we trying to achieve? Is he like maladjusted? Does he need to like get like a new lease on life? Does this kid need a father? Does Maria Conchita Alonso need a partner? By the way, again, we're always going to say Maria Conchita Alonso. There's no one saying Alonso.
That's the best name to say.
Maria Conchita Alonso. Doesn't matter that I looked her up on Wikipedia and I don't have the kindest things to say about Maria Conchita Alonso. That's a whole different story. But anyway, mixed bag was where I'm at with this movie. Like I couldn't, because it's not bad. It's not like horrible by any means. It's just like it had so many like ideas of where it could go, and it couldn't really pick one. So it tries everything, and it's like almost likable, but like the movie's too scattershot to like have more, like it's just not focused enough. So it's like Keaton goes a long way. Like Keaton will get me a lot of places, unless it's like Need for Speed or some bullshit. But otherwise, Keaton would pretty much sell a lot of things. So mixed is where I'm at.
Okay, Scott.
This is a strange one, because I would argue that if not for one very obvious element, this would be a very, very bad movie, in that the only thing that isn't aggressively formulaic and sort of, I don't want to say half-assed, that's mean, except Keaton is giving everything in this. I'm not even going to say it's against type, because he's playing his somewhat edgy, somewhat off-kilter, it's a Keaton performance, but it's obviously in the service of this somewhat, Curly Sue, Life with Mikey, that's actually, that kind of thing. Circumstance. It's not a good movie. And again, it's another not an action movie that somehow needs to end with women in peril and car chases and fight scenes. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, I know some of this is established at the beginning, but there's got to be a better way to do this. That being said, he is so good and so watchable and so keeps us on our toes in terms of just the Michael Keaton of it all, because even then, he had a certain unhinged, against the grain. I mean, it almost reminds me of like early Walken before his shtick became, and this is not a criticism, almost self-parody. It was like, before we knew to be scared of him, it was just like, oh, this guy's interesting. I don't know what's going on with this guy. But other than that,
scary?
I'm sorry?
What was Walken not scary? I'm just trying to think of that. Like he debuts in like what, in like Annie Hall, and he's terrifying in that
right?
Like,
exactly. Oh yes, he's yes.
So like, what's this period? What's this wonderful period of time where he wasn't scary?
I guess I was thinking more of like
he was on the boat when Natalie Wood went missing.
That was his most wholesome hour.
The skipper too.
I mean, yeah, there's the Deer Hunter.
Level-headed.
Yeah, he debuted intense. It wasn't until like the 90s where he started getting a little lighter.
Like Scott, I know the point that you're making. I'm just having fun. I know the point you're making.
No. It's like
obviously he dives in.
He was always intense and sort of, but in the 90s, partially because he was doing a lot of genre films, maybe, that he sort of leaned into
like Prophecy,
this guy's like a terrible, terrifying man demon. And then by the late 90s, he was sort of in on the joke, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, because he's in comedies
so
at that point. So yes.
So like Michael Shannon concurrently.
Yes.
Which is still amazing. I mean, it's been 10 years, but it's like he literally did all 3 acts of Walken at the same time. Yeah. Anyway, back to Keaton. Other than this very enjoyable, this is why he's a movie star lead turn, there's nothing particularly interesting or good or thoughtful or nuanced about this by the book genre picture. And I'm not going to say it's an abomination because I watched it and I enjoyed it, but the only reason this movie works in any way, shape, or form is because of Keaton's star turn.
Yeah, I started this movie optimistic. Michael Keaton. Maria Conchita Alonso. Okay, we're starting hockey. Okay, and then it's like, checking the watch, just tick, 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 tick. And it's not like anybody's bad or anything like that. It's just this movie, this script isn't there. It's not interesting. There's nothing amusing directorially from it or anything like that. And it's just, could have been a TV movie. Like it's.
It would be today.
But
it'd be a Netflix, like Michael Keaton in.
Yeah, it's like super pedestrian, and I just I can't do anything but repeat what the two of you said about it. I was looking forward to it because it'd been coming up with people who had worked on the film leading up to Touch and Go. It's got Michael Keaton. Okay, cool, that'd be fun. No, just kind of
not enough Brian Dennehy and special effects makeup for my
right. You honor for it, but.
If they had called this Touch and Go, The Deadly Art of Illusion, I would have given it an extra star.
There you go.
Which I'm sure you can keep your Electric Boogaloo. I'm sticking with the Deadly Art of Illusion.
Deadly Art of Illusion. This summer owns it. Your sister is a werewolf. Come on, the one that owns the best. This movie does have a big movie geek cultural touchstone here. So. This is it must have been an early release for a film this week because it's 51 theaters and it goes wide later on. On September 20th, a television program debuts. It moved from PBS to mainstream called Siskel and Ebert and the Movies. Touch and Go is the first movie they ever reviewed on it, and it received 2 thumbs up.
I thought Ebert was a fan.
So was Siskel.
Well, I'm glad to know that I know the first movie they did, and I know the last movie Siskel did. I can't think of the last movie Ebert did, though.
What's the last movie Siskel did?
Simply Irresistible, of course, with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Simply Irresistible.
And I'm going to cry.
So, yeah, they started Touch and Go. Well, they had done movies before. They were on public access.
They were on other, yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't the first 2 thumbs up movie, but this is the first mainstream. We're on, Buena Vista Television producing them. So there you go. That's your interesting point, Touch and Go, that has really nothing to do with you as your movie's quality or whatnot. But hey, without further ado, though, we can just move on. We can touch and go to the the news, I suppose, for this week.
Beep, beep.
News.
Hi, I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. For the latest show business news, movie reviews, and celebrity interviews, join us for Entertainment Tonight.
Weeknights at 6:30 here on WDAF TV4.
All right. On August 18th, American rock band Bon Jovi releases their third album, Slippery When Wet, which becomes the Billboard's top-selling album of 1987.
What are the
good
hits on that?
I think that's the Living on a
That's
Prayer.
the big one.
Yeah.
Living on a
not
Prayer,
a Bon Jovi
Bad
guy
Medicine.
at all, so you got to tell me. I'm just curious. 86 that's when that track hits?
It's so Slippery When Wet is You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted, Dead or Alive.
Okay, so it's their big one.
Never Say Goodbye. Yeah.
Was eventually included in the Young Guns 2 soundtrack, if I recall. And God help me, the B-side to that song is actually really good.
That's
I
a
don't
lot.
remember what it is.
Isn't Blaze of Glory the Young Guns song?
Yes, Blaze of Glory. Maybe
Blaze of Glory. That's Bon Jovi solo.
Fuck. Yeah, Young Guns 2 is like 91. Like that's like a long lead.
That's right before.
Now I need to know what.
Yeah,
I apologize. I'm curious.
That's right where, right before Nirvana bursts out on the scene and Bon Jovi cuts their hair, pretty much.
A lot of pronoun games with Bon Jovi because we have to refer to the band and the man.
The band and the man. John Bon. John Bon. JB. There's another
JB.
John here. On the same day that Slippery When Wet comes out.
Yeah. Yes. What happened? Toe slip.
Another musician has a big milestone. John Tesh makes his first appearance on Entertainment Tonight.
Oh man. A touch of the Tesh.
Him and Mary Hart, that was like staple. That was my entertainment. That's where you got you watched Entertainment Tonight. That was a cultural staple. Now we just have, that used to be considered trash, but look at today. Like that. Entertainment Tonight was like the hard copy for entertainment.
Stretching it, but yes, I get the comparison. Yes.
I mean, that type of, the quick news program and that it's like prim, proper elite now.
Yeah.
Half hour.
No, you're absolutely right.
Half hour, just like boom, some entertainment news, learn stuff. And they'd always debut trailers. That's where you set the VCR to tape Entertainment Tonight. The trailer, which I think did Entertainment Tonight in 82, Scott, did it begin or did Mary Hart start on Entertainment Tonight?
Honestly, I don't know.
Listeners will have to go back to the episode, but I remember there was some signature moment for Entertainment Tonight, and I think it might have begun or Mary Hart began on the show. Can't remember. Oh, no, it was Leonard Maltin started on there.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight, September 14th, 1981.
Yeah, okay.
It holds the Guinness World Record for the longest running entertainment news program on television.
Wow.
Here's a fun fact. I if you showed me three people and one was Mary Hart, I could not pick out which one she was for the life of me. I've never had any awareness of Mary Hart beyond hearing the name and it associated with something.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But you might be able to associate this next person. We have another big entertainment thing that happened on August 18th. This is they call it like a fixed point in time or something like that.
Apparently.
WYSP 94.1 FM in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania begins simulcasting the Howard Stern radio show from New York's WXRK.
Take that, pig vomit.
Yeah.
Do you think people still call Giamatti pig vomit sometimes?
I was about to say, why is Giamatti, who's probably 10 at this point? Why is his crib glowing?
The kind of nostalgia people have for him, it's either Big Fat Liar or pig vomit. It's or the Rhino.
The Rhino.
I think the only person who has nostalgia for the Rhino is Paul Giamatti, and I say that with respect.
I love his Rhino. His Rhino is terrific.
Yeah, I have nothing against it, but it was a nice he said he wanted to play this character, and they said yes, come play.
I might like No Way Home better if they'd have brought him back For
Yeah, where was that? That's what No Way Home needed. Less applause breaks and more Paul Giamatti's the Rhino.
Yeah.
I mean, did he know who Spider-Man was? No, but neither did Electro.
It would have given us a Sideways reunion too, but they robbed us.
Exactly what I really wanted.
Mm-hmm. So, August 19th, a car bomb kills 20 people in Tehran, Iran.
Fuck, Brandon.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
The next day,
there's an upside.
The next day, a postal worker named Patrick Sherrill shoots 14 fellow coworkers dead in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Hey, did that spawn something?
I don't know if that's where the phrase came from, but
unfortunately, I think it was a net result of several of those sort of
It was a pattern of these things, right?
Pattern of them, yeah, because the mail never stops. And then on August 21st at Lake Nyos, a volcanic eruption in Cameroon releases a poisonous cloud of carbon dioxide, killing 1,746 people and 3,500 livestock.
Well, that sucks.
Got anything else?
Yeah. August 21st, Stephen Schwartz and Charles Strauss's musical Rags opens at the Mark Hellinger Theater in New York City, runs for 4 performances, and receives 6 Tony Award nominations.
How many people
casualties?
Yeah. Did they turn off the dark on that one?
It took home Tony.
Speaking of the Rhino.
Right?
Oh, God, what's next? The birth of like Spencer Pratt and 2 Trump kids? Like, what's going on?
Right.
What antichrist were brought to the world on this day?
August 21st.
That's the subscribe button.
Suriname's Ronnie Brunswick's jungle commandos kill 2 government officials.
I mean,
and our last news item for 86.
Okay, yes.
NASA announces tests designed to verify ignition pressure dynamics.
Good.
And there's the that's our Challenger.
Yeah, our wrap around.
An oddly fitting end of our mid 80s summer of whatever podcast.
Yeah. Summer of whatever.
I feel like the Tesh thing probably would have been a good way to close. That's fine too.
Got open big. I front loaded that.
No. Why have Tesh when you have a quadruple digit body count?
Yeah. Speaking of body count, passing away this week. Actress Hermione Baddeley, Lorenzo Tucker, the Black Valentino, TV host Don Bennett, big band player Thad Jones, Walter Brooke, who played D.A. Scanlon on The Green Hornet, and actor Charles Janssens. And then our birthdays, people born on this day, volleyball player Sori Kimura, Prime Minister of Thailand Paetongtarn Shinawatra, actress Kiko Kitagawa, singer Christina Perry, which I've heard she's pretty grape. Thank you. I watch Shrinking, Scott. I don't know if you do, but she wrote a banger song for a bad movie, I'll tell you that. And then, lastly, Olympian sprinter Usain Bolt.
Oh, he's always a leg ahead of everybody else.
There we go. Yeah. And that is the news of 86. But it's time for you guys to thrill me as we head to Night of the Creeps, opening only in 70 theaters.
The night of the formal is finally here.
Oh, I got good news and bad news, girl. The good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
Night of the Creeps. They are a new breed of terror.
They get in through your mouth, and you walk around while they incubate.
Night of the Creeps. If you scream, you're dead.
Directed by Fred Decker, whose next film would be The Monster Squad, Suck It Goonies. That's the subheading for it. Written by Fred Decker, starring Jason Lively. Yes, that's her brother. Jill Whitlow, Steve Marshall, David Paymer, and Tom fucking Atkins. composed by Barry Devorson, who is the man who came up with the theme song for SWAT. Did music for Dillinger, Rolling Thunder, Xanadu, V the Final Battle, the theme song for Simon and Simon, and Exorcist 3. He also served as the music supervisor on Cooley High, Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem, and Slaughter. The man's got cred. And then shot by Robert C. New, who had shot SCTV, did the Van Damme movie Lionheart, 11 episodes of Beverly Hills 90210, Blade the series, and Stan Helsing. That's a career. In this movie, alien brain parasites entering humans through the mouth turn their host into a killing zombie. Some teenagers start to fight against them. All right. So let's begin with Scott. It's Miller time.
First of all, I had never seen this picture before. I was always aware of it.
Wow.
No, I was always aware of it. It's just
lucky.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, I liked it. For the record, I did like it. But when you introduce a movie with like what looks to be like anthropomorphic, what if minions were real, but they have laser guns running around, and like there's almost no, there's basically no more of that for the rest of the movie, I feel a little cheated. That being said, the rest of it feels like a loose riff, and I know this came afterwards, so mea culpa. Felt like a loose riff of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But it's good. The production values are solid. Tom Atkins is, I don't want to say he's in another movie because that's not fair, but he's certainly on a very specific wavelength. I'd like to think this was what Bruce McGill was watching before he decided to make the very best episode ever of Miami Vice, but I digress. The teenage interpersonal melodrama is like weirdly compelling and authentic in a way that was surprising to me, and that it's just plausible and real enough to actually be legitimate. I like the fact that when the young teen hero starts his daring do, he's still like scared and angry and not thrilled that he has to do this stuff. It's not like he doesn't view it as this, this is my chance to show her what a badass I am. It's like, no, he doesn't want to be doing this nonsense. He knows it's terrible. And what stood out to me is that, when we talk about this, maybe for next week, it's going to be a lot about, the summer of '86 had a lot of mid to low budget, let's do as much as we can science fiction pictures, where you didn't have the protection of IP or the relative, I don't want to say ease or convenience, that's not fair, of non-practical effects work. But it was just, okay, what can you do with this ecosystem where these are not big studio, often are not big studios, these are not giant franchises, these are trying to be the next, for lack of a better term, the next The Thing, the next ET, whatever, commercial success notwithstanding. And it's like, this is one that like feels the most like it wouldn't be out of place coming out this year. Not so much because of the special effects even, which are fine, but because the performances feel not as over the top and not as farcical and not as, gee whiz, this is a mid-'80s sci-fi wannabe cult film, blah, blah, blah. The characters believe it. The actors make it feel real. As silly as it is, there is a certain drama that I found relatively intriguing. That being said, again, Atkins is his speech halfway through is only a few levels below Robert Shaw's Jaws monologue. And that opening scene with like the murderous Smurfs, I'm just angry that you could tease something like that and then not deliver accordingly. Other than that, I had a lot of fun with this one.
Gotcha, Aaron.
Yeah, I really like this film as well. I'd only seen it a few times, and I came to it not too late in the game, but very late in the game after Slither, which is a very clearly inspired movie by from this one. Scott, you're not wrong as far as saying it can feel like it comes out now, because I feel like we get a movie that is either directly inspired or at least inadvertently inspired by Night of the Creeps all the time. I feel like this is a very good influential movie
Fair.
to younger horror filmmakers that are making movies now or in the past 20 years, just because it is accessible in that kind of a way. I mentioned Slither. That's a very obvious reference to Night of the Creeps. But even something like, I mean, like Cold Storage came out this year, which is written by David Koepp, who's, much older than Fred Decker, I'd imagine. But like, there's some kind of quality there. It's horror comedy where the elements involved are like intriguing enough where you just like any decade would fit for this kind of a thing, as far as the kind of what the horror of it all is, and having characters that have a sort of postmodern attitude about it. There's something there that always, clicks for a cult audience of sorts. Like, so that it tracks. It's wild to me that I used to think that this came before or after Monster Squad. Monster, by comparison, like I feel like it has a kind of a scope to it, and it's sort of like the ambition of it feels like, I mean, yes, getting all the monsters together is ambitious in its own way, but like there's just something about the way this thing comes together and like the different filming techniques and what have you that make it feel like a director that's already done something and is like, here's my like weird batshit idea crazy movie. But it's not, and it's really a shame that Fred Decker hasn't done more. Like, it's so wild to me that he makes this and he makes Monster Squad, and he's a writer and he's pals with Shane Black, who's prolific at writing at the very least, and it's like, Fred Decker didn't make like more movies. Like, he has a few credits, but not like a lot for a guy that's been around since the 80s. But regardless, yeah, I have a lot of fun with this movie. It's super entertaining. It has a way of going back and forth with like what kind of story it's telling to a degree, as far as the teens, the Tom Atkins stuff, the horror, what it wants to do. It never betrays its tone, though. Like, I think it's very consistent with the kind of film it is, which I think speaks to how good Tom Atkins is here. Because I agree, he's obviously like amazing in this film, but I wouldn't say saying he's a part of a different movie. It's like saying Donald Pleasance is a part of a different movie in Halloween. Like
That's fair.
They're clearly a part of the fabric of this film. They're just, their characters are so like distanced from teenagers, so like they obviously feel like a different person by comparison, but they add to what the fun is in this movie. And it's a real fun thing to have Tom Atkins coming in here and is basically his superhero outfit, saying his one liners and like just trying to get down to business so he can like get back to vacation, essentially, even though I don't quite know what happens. But like, it's a lot of fun. They like the horror design stuff is like intriguing in the right kind of ways. It has just great bits. It's very like memorable in the way it presents her. This movie's a blast. Like, if you haven't seen Night of the Creeps, go see Night of the Creeps. It rules. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I personally didn't check it out till the Blu-ray came out back in like 2009, and I heard stuff about it, and I was like, okay. And I was like, whoa, why has this Tom Atkins performance been hidden from me my whole life? Because this is a complete outlier on the man's career. And then you look at his career differently after you see Night of the Creeps, and I think it builds an appreciation for him and stuff you've already seen him before. And yeah, Scott, you're talking about, this movie starts no different than Critters, which came out the same year. Bunch of space stuff that you never really go back to, and it doesn't have they do give you the critters the whole movie, but the spaceship people are humans in Critters. That's kind of a little bit of the difference, but it's just kind of a fun start to it. But
I love the designs of them so much that it's like, I want nothing but that.
Right. I mean, if you want stuff all that, you watch Terror Vision, you get lots of freaky creature designs from this decade. Shout out to Jill Whitlow, who gets to bounce back from Thunder Run to doing something quality like this. This is during her she had like a decade run of like, let's see if she can work in anything. This is probably one of her top, I mean, for us, top days. She was in Mask and she had Porky's and stuff like that. So we saw her back in Porky's as well. But this movie's just, yeah, a lot of fun. I buy into the little like college melodramas. I always like college campus as a horror setting. It's always fun, I think, interesting. It tends to offer interesting architecture and scenic places for things to take place in, like fraternity houses and like class buildings, things like that always work. But this one's like got a nice creature feature design, gore, action. The one-liners are off the charts in this. And Ty Atkins is coming in here. Jason Lively, just still, I don't know. He's better here than he is as Rusty in European Vacation.
Accurate.
But
default.
Yeah, I can still see why it's not working, but it's fun. It's not afraid to go certain places in terms of stakes and whatnot. It's got some integrity here. And this is an easy recommend to people if they like zombie movies or haven't seen a cool 80s horror movie. This one is top of the charts to recommend easily. And yeah, Decker, it's kind of, I mean, none of his movies do a hell of real well, but he does, I mean, for a shortened directorial career, he sure's got a lot of good stuff there. He doesn't come back till The Predator, many moons down the road. As a writer. So, and when they were making that movie, I was excited. I was like, "Oh, Fred Decker's back." So,
and I'm like, is he just like an asshole? Like what's his deal?
I don't know what happened. Like, I mean, like you have directors like him and like Mick Garris coming around the time where it's like we're not making the most high profile or like greatest movies on earth, but like they got stuff there that people tend to enjoy, cult classics and whatnot. But that's we got.
But Night of the Creeps is a fun title, by the way. It's like so fun. It's surprising that like just like producers haven't tried to like swoop it up and be like, let's make a sequel or let's remake it. I'm glad that hasn't happened because it's such a one of a kind of movie to try to do. But it's such like the title feels so ubiquitous where it's like, this feels like this could have been the start of something, and it like somehow didn't. And like, granted, horror comedy, sells differently than horror and whatnot. So like, I get it to an extent. What are the reviews like for this? Was it like well received?
Oh, good question. But the one thing like when you're going to remake it, like what's one of the biggest things about this movie? Tom Atkins, you're gonna put him back in here again? No, you're not. So
then you could.
You're already.
What if he said yes? What if he's like, yeah, sure. He looks at the screenplay, thrill me. Let's do this.
Sure, let's do this. But I mean, like,
that's another thing. I mean, I figured that was just a generic line that it's sort of just. I did not realize that verbiage was from a movie specifically.
Yeah, it's Miller time. It's like yeah. But that's one of the biggest factors is that and carrying this movie along a bit. But like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't disagree. You say this, but it's like Fright Night pulls it off pretty well.
Right,
that is very specific character stuff in there that I think they cast really well.
With the right people making it, sure.
Yeah,
It's interesting about that.
Supergirl's Craig Gillespie, of course.
Right.
With fun, and this is neither here nor there, but I think the Fright Night remake is fine. Certainly better in 2D. But I think the quote-unquote Roddy McDowell substitute is the least interesting thing in it. And that's not even an insult to David
Tennant.
Tennant?
Thank you.
I would agree to a point, but I do think he's still like if you're gonna change it to like Vegas, it's like it makes sense. He's like a crappy magician.
Well, the emphasis feels different. Where he's not as key to the story as I felt he was in the original. But
because like the world exists, we don't need to talk about it. But like the world exists in the world where like late night horror things is not like a thing like it would be in the 80s. Like there's no So
like there's far less of a need for a inside baseball expert of that nature when you have the internet. But whatever. Again, because of that, the film changes its perspective a little bit. Anyway.
75% Rotten Tomatoes for Night of the Creeps, which is of course after the fact.
Yeah, there's probably modern reviews going in there too.
But even then, it looks like doesn't look like it got panned by any means.
Not enough people saw it, probably too. Didn't really do it. So, all right.
Stephanie's Dreams wasn't enough to give it $60 million opening week.
All right. So we already talked about 2 movies, so we're gonna need a little break here. So we're gonna move on to our ad break this week.
Oh man, is it finally gonna be Mentos?
I will tell you something, Aaron. Mentos doesn't debut those commercials till the 90s.
I figured there might be like an early version I don't even know about.
I looked for you.
Mentos Origins.
Mentos Origins. Sorry, I looked for you.
It was like a warning, like don't put these in sodas.
Because I was like, I'm gonna save it for last, and of course,
yeah. Now it's gonna be like some chicken thing or something.
Time to make the donuts.
Oh yeah.
Owning a Dunkin' Donuts is no piece
It's
of
the Dunkin' Donuts ad.
Yes,
Oh, well, they used to be good.
because you work
Right.
night and day.
when the donuts used to matter.
Why they're so fresh all the time.
The donuts.
I was like an afterthought to like their fucking drinks.
More than any
Right?
supermarket.
Oh yeah, I guess we got some dough. Slap some vanilla on there, and you got a donut.
It's always time.
Same
To be fair,
logo.
their breakfast sandwiches are pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah, their breakfast. It's a donut place. Like, yeah, great. They did a great job with their wraps and their fucking sourdough.
Well, that's why I go to Starbucks is for the breakfast sandwiches. I don't know what the fuck to order for like whenever my wife and or children want to drink, like text me it because I don't know what the fuck they serve. I'm not going to remember.
Like the only thing worth getting is the donut holes because you can't, like, what else do you do with that? Like that's it. Like it's like
Right.
that's fine.
I do like the Boston cream. Those are
I like the Boston cream if they like. I want a real Boston cream, not like they're like little like this size and it's like a dot of cream inside.
true. No, if it's full, yeah, you gotta have that thing
Yeah,
full.
I'll go to another donut place where in Boston because this is that's
Or,
what the holes
or
are
as
fine.
a lot of people call it, custard.
Yeah,
So
which is
Custer's last stand.
yes,
but you don't want to call it a Boston custard.
yeah. Well,
It doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Well, the donut holes are because you can get sprinkled or glazed or jelly filled or powdered or sugar. It's like you can't mess that up. Like you get all the same flavors and it's cheaper. So-
very true. Very true.
and we should be eating fucking donut. It's like that's the other thing. not like now. If there was still fried gold like it was in 1986 in that commercial with Mario making the fucking donuts over there, then
Right.
yeah, that would be fine. That concludes my rant on
Krispy
Dunkin'
Kremes.
Donuts.
Yeah. All right.
Krispy Kremes, Jesus Christ, a heart attack in a bag.
Yeah.
God.
Right.
You
Just take
know,
the IV of
some
sugar.
people just like a good old fashioned American donut. You goddamn commie.
Yeah.
love-
I've always had
Let-
donuts
let-
in the
hold-
same
hold,
category as
because this is
pizza,
gonna
where
be on
it's
the
like,
podcast
it's
forever.
good.
Hold the phone.
Oh no,
I
we got
love
the donut.
donuts. I love
Uh-huh.
donuts.
Didn't
Don't-
sound like
Don't
it
go
2
for your
seconds ago.
fancy schmancy donuts.
No, I love real. No, there's a difference between. There's not. It doesn't matter if it's fancy schmancy. I go to like a real donut place that's not fancy donuts. Just has actual donuts, not this crap that they produce because it's like leftover whatever that Dunkin' Donuts turned into. Because like, oh, we got to make our refreshers and our mint whatever with our fucking Sabrina Carpenter foam on top and all that bullshit, and then like maybe have donuts also. That's not. This is gonna be the fucking clip for this fucking episode. I know.
I mean, you like going to
is all I'm
the
saying.
regular mom and pop donut shops.
Yeah,
and give you
exactly, which is where I go to,
And
which has-
ADHD because like I have 12 to choose from, but I don't know which ones to choose.
I get the same things. I'll get like a tiger tail, or I'll get like a sprinkled.
Gotcha.
Done. Or a Boston cream if they're
Well, you have to get some for yourself because you live by yourself because you have no dependents or attachments.
You tell
I
them
have
what
a
you get them what
wife.
you want to get them. You're like you're getting a maple bar. That's it. Shut
Have
up.
you met my children?
So we had this wonderful place.
Laid out
called-
the law. It doesn't matter that they're all taller than you at this point. You can still get the donuts you're supposed to get.
we
I'll
had a
have
wonder-
you know that Allison is still shorter than the Abbott Elementary lady.
Oh,
Quinton Brunson and her didn't team up.
Which is why one reason she very much likes this show. Because
No,
like
that's not-
she's someone to quote unquote look up to.
She likes her tiny queens.
Yes.
we had a
I mean,
wonderful.
joke aside, that show's fucking awesome, but whatever.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful little donut place called Donuts and Dragons here that closed about like a year
you
or
go.
so ago. It was
That's
great.
clever.
It was great. Didn't last. But they had wonderful, unique flavored donuts. There's one that you always would pass on, but the time I finally was like, then they'd recommend it. I'm like, fine, I'll get it. It was like this white chocolate raspberry thing, but it was like, and it was a normal circle donut, whatever you saw, but it was filled, and I've never had one of those filled, and it was
okay.
like, oh, okay, I see why you guys brag about this motherfucker all the time. It was good, and they had
Oh,
like
yes. If we're giving shout outs to donut places, Surfing Donuts, mom and pop donut store.
Mhm.
They do breakfast burritos also, as well as like
Gotcha.
English muffin sandwiches. Delicious. I'll get myself
Delicious.
Tiger
Yeah.
tail. Perfect. JD flannels. They're like regular donuts, except just made better. It's great.
Gotcha. Mine is
I mean,
Taylor Bakery. Their gator, their alligator thing. It's like this twist thing with us. It's really good.
This is the clip.
we
right
have a
here.
fair share of solid mom and pop donuts shops. I don't know what the fuck any of them are called, but there's that one next to the 7-Eleven over on the left and then turn right, and it's really, really good. And then the other one, you turn right and then you keep going and you eventually turn left. That's really good too.
Folks, these
Yeah.
are probably both Dunkin' Donuts. Anyway.
And it's where Scott has a
Fucking
nervous
Dunkin'
breakdown. Where he's like, I
Donuts.
don't remember what they wanted. Did they want a sprinkle or did they want a sugar?
Okay.
We're all getting twists.
Well, this segment has taken us to some extremities.
Motherfucker.
Playing in 605 theaters.
Daddy, Mommy said lunch is ready.
Be right there, baby.
He is a hunter. He is waiting for just the right victim. And just the right moment. It happens every day.
Without a description, even if we do get prints, it still comes down to your word against his.
He has my wallet. He knows where I live. Can you give me some protection?
You call, and we'll be there.
It happened to Marjorie.
Hi, is Joe in?
No, Joe lives here.
But it won't happen again. Marjorie is not a victim anymore. Farrah Fawcett in a shattering portrait of a woman driven to extremities.
Smile.
What she did to survive is nothing compared to what she'll do to get even. Extremities. Based on the award-winning hit from the New York stage.
Oh, too many.
Brandon making jokes about the rape movie.
Grape.
I had to guess from donuts to this. I don't know. Directed by Robert M. Young, who goes on to direct 5 episodes of Battlestar Galactica, not the original, the later the reboot. Written by William Mastrosimone, based on his play. He also did With Honors and Into the West. Starring Farrah Fawcett, who also starred in the play. James Russo, who starred in the play. Alfred Woodard and Diane Scarwood. Composed by J.A.C. Redford, who is a TV composer, but also did D2 The Mighty Ducks and D3 and Heavyweights. And it was, shot by Curtis Clark. Has 23 credits and does some additional cinematography work for Masters of the Universe, the Dolph Lundgren one, because we have 2 of those now. This movie's about a woman who narrowly escapes assault, but loses her purse. Fearing retaliation, she seeks help. When her attacker returns, she manages to trap him. Now she faces a moral quandary. Free him, report him, or take matters into her own hands. Like the stage production, the performers in this movie really slapped each other. And previous performers who had this role on the stage play were Karen Allen, Lauren Hutton, Helen Mirren, and Susan Sarandon, who was the first person in it, and Farrah Fawcett took this role over for her on the stage. And we mentioned Siskel and Ebert. They called this one of the worst films of 1986.
Tracks.
So, Aaron,
Thumbs
down?
This wasn't the ball of gas I was expecting it to be. I didn't realize this was a play. I feel like that's the one thing I didn't read about this movie, apparently. But that makes a whole lot of sense because it's very stagey. And I can see how this would probably work on stage as far as the kind of moves it has to make and whatnot. But as a movie, it beyond like the grossness of it all as far as how it's playing things and whatnot, like it doesn't get interesting until like the later half of the second half of the movie. And so I'm like, oh well, finally there's something interesting to do, but then the movie, basically wraps up somewhat inexplicably as far as the way they're able to kind of one up somebody. But regardless, this just felt like I was watching trash. like is like trash that's I guess well acted, but like trash nonetheless. Like it's not quite sleazy because of the way it's presented, but it feels like it's trying to present a prestige version of sleaziness in a way that I just couldn't like get behind because I didn't like it's not it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm so terrified of the nature of the subject matter or whatnot. It's just more of the way it's presenting it to me and what it's trying to say and do. None of it like clicked, and it's not for lack of effort from the actors. There are better actors than James Russo and Farrah Fawcett, but at the same time,
No.
I respect them trying. Has Farrah Fawcett at this point in her career like done anything of this nature? Like, has she done like any?
This was her trying to get a
break out of
serious career.
Uh-huh.
This was the stage play was a big comeback for her.
Makes sense. And then so it's just like it just becomes very ugly, like in a way where there's ways to do something like this, and this is just not it. Like it's hard to like pinpoint like what do you do differently because like that's not my job. It's just more of how am I responding to what they're presenting to me, and I'm just like ugh, like that's the kind of like the response I have. It only has so many places to go, which is why it's along with being kind of ugly, it's just kind of uninteresting for a good portion of it because you're just kind of playing a waiting game for something to arise because it's not for a movie that could really lean into the cat and mouse aspect of it, kind of doesn't. It just kind of sits there and lets you weigh with these characters. But like one's repellent, and then like tries to gaslight, and it's like, well, that's not going to work. And then the other is Farrah Fawcett, who you don't want to see come into harm's way, but you're like, I get that she's trying to do something, but also she's trying really hard for like a message that you get like right, the second the movie starts. So it's like you're just kind of sitting there for what felt like a while for something to happen, then something kind of does. And you're like, oh, that's a little interesting, and then it ends. So bad.
Counterpoint, Scott.
She actually had done a television movie a year or 2 years earlier called The Burning Bed, which I originally thought that's what this was, not knowing offhand about this. Okay. That was a television movie, but it was somewhat celebrated, much discussed, blah, blah, blah. It was sort of a groundbreaking melodrama about domestic violence and spousal abuse and what have you. It's about a woman that murdered her abusive husband by setting him on fire in the bed. Hence the title, The Burning Bed. Anyway, that is not what this is. The first half of this film is ugly in that way that any number of stereotypical, whether they originated on Lifetime or not, Lifetime television movies, which I used to call when I was a kid, but she shoots them in the end films, which is that it's 90 minutes of women or girls in some cases being menaced, stalked, abused, harassed, raped, tormented, tortured, but it's empowering because she shoots them in the end. And that is, of course, a whole subgenre of picture. The first 45, I mean, look, there is a case to be made if you want to get, know what the big deal was, skip the first 45 minutes, because that's where most of I would argue, the pornographic sleaze, not even sleaze, it's matter of fact, but it is by virtue of filmmaking skills somewhat, I should not be watching this. And, I'm worried about other people that do watch this more than once, that kind of thing. But once she turns the tables on her would-be, or not would-be, her actual assailant, then it does become, oh, that's where this is going. Okay. Because it does, I think, for the last 40 minutes, convincingly create an interesting, not even moral dilemma, but like practical dilemma. Because even if you endorse what she wants to do, you don't necessarily want her friends to get in trouble right along with her. And yet the film sets it up in such a way where it's like, she really can't have her cake and eat it too. So, it's a matter of, we may be rooting for her for righteous reasons, but we also don't want collateral damage. And that, to me, at least watching it, is where for me, the conflict of the drama came in. I don't want Alfre Woodard to go to jail. But But even that really only keeps up its momentum for like a half hour. And the last 10 or so minutes of the picture, give or take, it's still kind of like just sort of, okay, I guess we have to end now. So it sort of has the character bear his fangs in a way that removes any and all. Again, I'm not saying there's much of a shades of gray here in terms of him, but are we going to talk spoilers? Do we care about spoilers?
Talk spoilers.
It's certainly a very different movie if he maintains his innocence to the very end. Let's put it that way.
Sure. Yeah.
And that he doesn't sort of remove any last vestige of interest in terms of that potential Tannery. That being said, it is, interesting time capsule. Farrah Fawcett, again, not a super thespian, but she can do the job when needed. And if I may be egregiously flippant for a second, there's a twist revealed in the first 10 minutes of the movie that I'm like, where the fuck does he have the time for that shit? Really? How? But anyway, triumphs in multitasking notwithstanding, it is an interesting curiosity. The first 45 minutes are really, really, really bad in all the ways that I imagine was most of the critical reception at that point. I do think if you accidentally sneeze and skip several times, the last half is interesting enough to make it a casual watch. Barely.
Yeah, this isn't very good. I was like extremities, and I looked, this movie, because they used to run this on Cinemax back in the day quite a bit.
That makes sense.
I've caught bits here and there of it in the past, and it's like, oh, this is a movie. I don't feel it's like, I don't know. There's sleaze to it that it's like it wants to be classy sleaze, but you can't do that. It's not in a way where it's entertaining, like Friday the 13th: A New Beginning, which is the ultimate sleaze classic, in my opinion. But this wants to be taken so seriously too. That's the thing, and it's maybe the wrong hands creating it.
I think that's the big issue. Yeah,
it's probably the big issue. It's got talent in front of the camera for sure. I mean, Fawcett's going hard, and it's got Alfred Woodard, and but overall, it's just kind of like you're sitting. Yeah, like Scott said, skip to the what makes this different part. I guess might make a difference here, but it's like it feels like I don't think it's. I don't think that anyone's endorsing this, but it sure lingers on all this stuff and keeps it going for quite some time. Where it's like, it's good. Come on, let's move on from this. I get it. And it just overall seems ludicrous that all this happening, and how this is. But it's because that's another problem too. Is it feels like this is some sort of like fantasy for something, and in the like a fantasy of something wanting to deliver a positive message, but it doesn't come off like a fantasy of delivering like some sort of empowerment message. And I just, I'm not. Yeah, like the opening sequence and stuff is lit and shot like it'd be a really cool, cheapy 80s slasher horror movie, but like it's not like what they give you here is like for it, and I'm sure that's intended feeling for it, but it's also like I don't know, it's mishandled. That's what I have to say.
I can see as a play how it's sort of, and again I'm speculating here, it originated as a what if, where like a rape victim accidentally traps her attacker in the house and they have a dialogue about what to do about it.
Yeah,
and then, the setup, it's like, how do you get from A to B? And you're right in the sense, Brandon, that it's sort of like it really, someone has to bend over backwards so that the movie can happen.
Yeah.
And maybe on stage, because there's, I imagine there's not a ton of sets for a play like this.
Right.
It just sort of exists on its own terms.
I imagine the play doesn't have like a lot of the attacking to it as well.
That too.
Oh, like it's because it's not presented cinematically, so there's a lesser visceral impact that kind of thing sort of has. And you're at a play, so you're geared towards a certain kind of mindset with that. Whereas a movie,
There's an artificiality.
exactly, you're thinking differently.
Yeah.
So like, a play you're expecting like dialogue essentially, like that's
right.
kind of territory. Um, so like that's why when hearing it's a play
Martha,
like,
he has our wallets. He knows where we live.
that's why hearing it as a play is like, yeah, okay, that makes sense as far as how that we'll be on stage. It's weird. It's not weird because they keep adapting all kinds of plays I wouldn't expect to be like adapted, but like
Right.
it is a curious choice to be like, yeah, this should be a cinematic feature. This is a story about a woman that gets
This is
nearly
people.
raped.
Hey, let's get Farrah an Oscar if we can get her Emmy. If we can get her Tony attention.
I get, yeah. If you're
let's
telling
get
me,
her-
if you're telling me it was a comeback for her on stage, okay, there's a logic there I can see as far as
Mhm.
going for the prestige or whatnot.
Yeah.
Was she married at this time? Did she have a husband that was like kind of pushy about this kind of stuff?
No, she had Lee Majors, and part of her fall was she left Lee Majors for Ryan O'Neal, and then people hated Ryan O'Neal. Still this day you hear shit about Ryan O'Neal, and I think it comes from just this like thing about because he broke up Farrah and Lee Majors. But
for the $4,000 man, but
right, I don't think she was with Ryan O'Neal even at this point. I'm not
okay.
sure.
I was trying to remember if there was someone. I know there's a lot of actresses specifically that have husbands that kind of like try to push for these kind of things. Like, yeah, we should get her into this, so she can get an Oscar, that kind of thing. But maybe that's not this particular.
Oh
case.
no, they were together till 1997. So he was there on set being like, yeah, hit him.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I just looked that up.
When he was saying, no, you hit her, then there were questions to be raised.
Yeah, they got together in 79, so they had been together for a bit.
So he was set for that. What's that movie with Chevy Chase called? Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, Man of the House?
Man of the House.
Oh.
Ryan O'Neal was on set for that one, being like,
now see, that's torture porn.
So they're in an Indian club, huh? That's fun. Another movie that ends with guns for no reason.
Right. Always got
this movie about a child who's trying to get even with his new stepdad, played by Chevy Chase, ends with the Native American team that he's a part of defeating characters that are mobsters with guns, going after Chevy Chase for being a bad lawyer. That's the movie Man of the House, co-starring Farrah Fawcett.
You know what's sad? That it might be the second worst movie called Man of the House.
It is, because the Tommy Lee Jones movie is kind of fun. So there.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Tommy Lee Jones in a house full of cheerleaders than watch Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Chevy Chase square off in a battle for who's the manliest man of the house.
Well, when you put it that way, it's no contest.
After Macaulay Culkin and Ted Danson did it,
Yeah. Yeah, when he had...
I've never seen that. Does that involve
Dutch
crime and mobsters and whatever?
Yes, because getting his like
getting even with Dad.
The whole deal of getting even to Dad, a movie that we definitely need to talk about during this Extremities review, is that Ted Danson is that Ted Danson he's like a thief, and he and his crew like steal something, and Macaulay Culkin's he's around. He realizes that what his father does, so he hides whatever they stole in order for them to spend time together, so they can get him to reveal where he hid whatever the diamond or the money or whatever the fuck he had.
Yes.
I think he has a mullet in that movie. If I'm not mistaken.
Ted Danson has a mullet.
Yeah.
Yep. Getting him with Dad. All right.
You guys have a Baby's Day Out next, or because that's the best one.
No. But we can talk about Ted Danson being in the number 3 rated show of the week this week.
Hey.
As we move to the TV ratings for our last TV ratings.
Wednesday. The nuclear reactor is heating up. Only one man's cool enough to handle the pressure. MacGyver.
Who's number 1?
Guess who's number 1 for the last time?
Crosby.
B-Man.
Yes.
Leonard Part 6 himself.
Speaking of extremities.
Yes. Number 2 is a Family Ties repeat on NBC, then the Cheers repeat on NBC, and the Night Court repeat on NBC. Number 5, Murder, She Wrote repeat on CBS, followed by a Newhart repeat on CBS, and a Kate and Allie repeat on CBS at number 7. And then number 8, Track Down, Finding the Good Bar Killer on CBS. This is a
Snickers.
This is a TV movie that aired on Sunday from 1983, and it was a sequel to Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which stars George Segal, Shelley Hack, and Alan North.
As Kit Kat.
So sometimes movies would get a sequel on television. That would happen.
Like Divergent, Part 4.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully. Then number 9, Moonlighting repeat on ABC, and number 10, a MacGyver repeat on ABC.
MacGyver.
Yeah, MacGyver made it at the very end, jumped in the top 10. Must have been a Murdoch repeat. Thursday, CBS did a nighttime version of Price is Right. Interesting.
I thought you said Christ is Right, and I was very confused.
Do they like bet on hookers or what? What is
Huh?
it?
I don't know. Well, they used to do that with game shows. But... Well, I didn't hear you.
As if they bet on like hookers or something now.
Right.
It's a nighttime version. How much?
$1.
Right after hours.
Damn it.
$2.
So Wednesday.
Hookers, condoms, and go on.
Wednesday.
Price is Right after hours.
CBS showed Sophie's Choice on Wednesday. Sunday night, ABC. What James Bond movie did they show?
Octopus.
Sophie's Choice.
Close, Aaron.
Never say never again.
Close, Aaron. Keep going backward.
For your eyes only.
Keep going backward.
Moonraker.
Keep going backward.
By You Love Me.
Yes, there you go. I think this is the second time they've shown a Bond movie this summer.
Really had to go back for that one. 86.
Yeah,
they chose one of the best ones. So, I mean,
right. Sunday at NBC they showed The Verdict, and then the TV movies on Monday and Tuesday on NBC. There's a miniseries called Little Gloria ... Happy at Last from 1982. Starring Angela Lansbury, Maureen Stapleton, Martin Balsam, Glynis Johns, Michael Gross, Betty Davis, Christopher Plummer, Bernard Hughes, J.T. Walsh, and directed by Waris Hussein. Who is Waris Hussein? He is the director of the original, the first episode ever of Doctor Who. Waris Hussein.
Who plays Little Gloria?
So who's like 206 now?
J.T. Walsh?
He's still alive, Waris Hussein. Well, I hope he is when this drops.
As of
I forget, we
July
record
1st,
these in advance.
2026.
Yes.
Those royalties.
Friday, CBS showed Missing Pieces from 1983, directed by Mike Hodges, starring Elizabeth Montgomery, John Riley, and Ron Karabatsos. And Saturday,
the Hodges dynasty.
Right. Saturday, ABC showed Dark Mansions, a new movie from 1986, starring Joan Fontaine, Michael York, Paul Shinar, Lois Childs, Melissa Sue Anderson, Nicolette Sheridan, Linda Pearl, and Dan O'Herlihy.
I feel like one of the boutique labels put this out recently. That sounds very familiar.
Maybe it was on the TV box sets because there's somebody like Australia. One of their labels is doing like TV box sets
or Umbrella or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, let's head on to our next film, playing in 745 theaters.
Oh man, where do you hear this?
8 o'clock.
What is it, man? You guys want to go see a dead body?
Columbia Pictures presents
Kid's gone. They're never gonna find him. Not where they're looking.
a Rob Reiner film.
I'm never gonna get out of this town, am I, Gordy? You can do anything you want, man.
Stand By Me.
There's 4 of us, Eyeball. You just make your move. You're dead.
Rated R.
Now in select cities. Sneak preview August 16th in additional cities.
It's Stand By Me. Directed by Rob Reiner. Written by Reynold Gideon and Bruce A. Evans, the duo who did Starman, Cutthroat Island, and Mr. Brooks. Based on
Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
That's
Yeah.
random as fuck.
Fucking whiplash right there.
Just,
Right?
I mean, quality notwithstanding, Jesus, that's like Ang Lee's jealous.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we bankrupt the studio and try to make Dane Cook a thing.
David Gordon Green is like, that motherfucker.
He's beating me.
Based on the novella The Body by Stephen King, starring Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell, Kiefer Sutherland, Casey Siemaszko, Francis Lee McCain, Bruce Kirby, John Cusack, and Richard Dreyfuss. Composed by Jack Nietzsche, who also had done Whoopee Boys. What a summer. What a summer. Cinematography by Thomas Del Ruth. Did Death Wish 2, Fandango, The Breakfast Club, The Running Man, Mighty Ducks. So we have Mighty Ducks is represented in this episode. The trilogy is here. He did also did episodes of The X-Files, ER, and West Wing. A writer recounts a childhood journey with his friends to view the body of a boy who went missing in the woods.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Who am I at? Scott?
Yep. Needed more murder clowns.
Yes.
No, I hadn't seen this in I know it was re-released in theaters recently, but since I knew we were going to be talking about
They're on tour with this movie. Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton, and Corey Feldman are touring with this movie and doing Q&As and stuff.
Fair enough.
Are there live performances by Corey Feldman afterwards as well?
The what?
Corey Feldman's doing live performances afterwards?
I hope so. Give the people their money's worth.
Was this the first Stephen King anything that wasn't a horror film in any sense of the word? At least in terms of filmed entertainment?
Depends on your thoughts on Maximum Overdrive.
You know what I mean, Brad.
I get you. This is one of the first looking back. You're like, oh, that was Stephen King.
Yeah. And it's interesting because this movie did not invent the genre of childhood flashback to coming of age moment / nostalgia, blah blah blah. But it certainly feels like it, especially watching it, 40 years later. The fact that it feels like you're watching a certain type of cinema being written on the fly, written in fire, because it's a very good movie. And
it's a new version. It's a new version of it. I mean, you have like American Graffiti is like a different kind of version of this movie. Like this is a different.
Yeah, that was the one that I was thinking that
it's an evolutionary point of this kind of genre.
Yeah.
Maybe popularized it.
Yeah.
Even if it's the Michael Jackson moonwalk of this kind of film.
Well, it's like you have war movies before Apocalypse Now, and then they change after. It's like that kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, and that was sort of my feeling watching this again. Is like again, I feel like I'm seeing cinematic history, unfold moment by moment. But beyond that, it's just a very good, thoughtful, sympathetic movie. John Cusack in a very small role is so just gloriously wonderful that, like, for once, I agree that the wrong kid really did die. Like, yeah, this time you got a point.
God, hating on Gordy over here. Will Wheaton doesn't face
Wheaton
wrath.
And I also, there's a scene relatively toward the end of the first act, in the second act, where, forgive me, I don't know which actors or which offhand in terms of. No, I think it's River Phoenix basically gives Will Wheaton a variation of that speech at the end of Good Will Hunting that I love so much.
Yes, he does.
And where he basically says, you are so much, you could be so much more than you are. You better not fucking let me drag you down, or yada, yada, yada. And yeah, it's almost like too insightful, if that makes sense. But I don't care because it's so good and so surprising and so moving and so specific in terms of that, those specific characters. And this is Kiefer Sutherland back, before this was typecasting for him to a certain extent. Because this is a year before The Lost Boys even?
Yeah.
Like the Lost Boys was probably sort of the, let's cash, what if he, but a vampire.
Right.
The apex of that, because after that he kind of played like just straight arrow assholes.
Until he eventually became America's greatest hero.
And then he's like a white supremacist and a time to kill. So like,
well, that was before he became America's greatest hero.
Yeah.
And then he became its designated survivor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm being a schmuck. But no, I mean, this is, it's a really good, thoughtful, nuanced, crowd pleasing in its own weird way, coming of age melodrama. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It's shockingly short.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talk about this sometimes, when we're talking about movies, even as recently, like when we were doing the summer of 2004, and we were all sort of shocked the hero was only like 95 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because this is another movie that feels like it should be like 110 to 130 minutes long. Because it feels epic, it feels expansive, it feels all encompassing about the world of its characters, but it's an 85-minute movie plus credits. But it also doesn't feel its length. And that's with the, several bits and pieces of Richard Dreyfuss sort of giving, obviously past tense expository monologues, some of which is during the action, some of which is not. And, as a standalone picture, this is just one of the best movies of 1986, at least on a major studio level, I will argue. And it's weird that, like, this film comes out, is by all rights incredibly successful, but then the Stephen King brand doesn't really become respected until, okay, same director, 4 years later with Misery. And then it's like, okay, now Stephen King is a prestige brand. It was sort of like, where like Paranormal Activity didn't start the found footage thing. I'm sorry, Blair Witch didn't start the found footage thing. Paranormal Activity did. Batman didn't really start what we know as the modern comic book run, but a decade later, Spider-Man or X-Men did. So it was like it became a trend on the second try. And this is obviously not the start. It's right in the middle of Rob Reiner's just old-timer run. And it is good enough that forgive me, this might sound weird, it surpasses its place in cinematic history in that it's not just a time capsule, it's not just an artifact, it's not just a fascinating look at all these actors when they were really, 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 really young, and or when a lot of these quote-unquote cliches and tropes were not cliches and tropes yet. And it's just a really fucking good movie. And also, I have to wonder, and I don't know, and there's probably an interview where he talks about this, if I would, like, does Stephen King write The Body and, like, or maybe watch this movie after the fact? It's like, what the story needs? Murder clouds. That would make it even better. Because this really feels like What If It with no supernatural shit to a certain extent. And I mean that as a compliment.
That was in this. He already has like The Long Walk. Before this,
oh, that's right. I forget that's one of his first books. But yeah, it is a film that still holds up every bit as well as it did when I first saw it when I was like a teenager. And I'll shut up.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah, this movie's pretty perfect. It's why I prefer Little Big League to Sandlot, because Sandlot's just riffing off this movie. And I like Sandlot plenty. It's very watchable, but Little Big League is its own thing. But it comes to children's baseball movies of the 90s that don't suck, like Angels in the Outfield. So
the Rookie of the Year was right there.
Yeah, well, we have a whole review devoted to that. I needed a bag on. But no, Sam by Me it's a fantastic film through and through. Everything about it clicks together. You mentioning the runtime is so important because yes, it does. It's a credit to just how good the filmmaking is and how sharp the writing is. Where there are so many like moments and memorable pieces about this film that all come together that make it feel like it's this big expansive thing, and yet it's not. It's this 85-minute movie that like just feels packed with stuff. Which is somewhat representative of what the story's trying to do, right? It's just telling you the story of this one summer about this group of friends who aren't even really friends after this summer. They kind of drift away from each other as as Richard Dreyfuss's narration describes. River Phoenix and Gordy, they kind of hang together, but Feldman kind of fades off, and Jerry O'Connell kind of fades. So it's it's interesting to look at it from that perspective as far as the amount of time being covered both by the film and by what the story's trying to tell you, and what the narrator's trying to, Dreyfuss, Gordy, what he's trying to get out of writing the story as a reflection of his past. On top of that, though, I mean, it's funny, it's adventurous, it's dramatic, it's got great beats, it's got great flashbacks. John Cusack's really good, obviously, as well. Marshall Green? I always forget his name. He's in Starship Troopers. He gets crushed by a bug. He, it's easy to
Doesn't
hate
narrow it
that.
down.
And he's married to a costume designer who won multiple Oscars. It's always fun to see him at the Oscars cheering him on. But like it's easy to like be upset at the dad because he's like, shitty to his other son who didn't die and whatnot, but it's a good performance. Like it's very effective because it's sad. It's rooted in guilt and grief and trauma. Um, Everything about this just clicks so well. I mean, all the casting works so well. Kiefer's very menacing as he needs to be, and so I've seen this movie plenty of times. I watched it this time with there's a picture-in-picture commentary with Rob Reiner, Feldman, and Will Wheaton. Um, it's tough, man. Like, because Rob Reiner really, yeah, he like beyond just the fact that he had these amazing films from this like span of time that any director would be
One of the best runs of all time. Yeah.
You look at the guy and like regardless of how yeah, like the tail end of his career isn't filled with hits in the same way, but he's such a great personality. And the fact that he's gone now in just the worst fucking way, it's just so sad. And then you look at this and you look at like River Phoenix is gone. We talked about him in '93.
Mm-hmm.
Like and like just thinking about the movie itself, and there's a lot of like moments that work on you as far as trying to like get you into certain positions of how you feel about what's happening or whatnot. Nothing hits me harder than the narrator describing Chris's death, where it's so matter of fact in the way he presents it, and it's so fitting of the character you've come to know for the past 80 minutes, and it just sucks. And like even Dreyfuss gets that, and like the way Dreyfuss is such a like it's easy to point to like Morgan Freeman and whatnot as great narrators. Dreyfuss might be my favorite narrator in a movie of all time. Like he's so good in this movie as a presence that's here, and the choices he's making and whatnot. And it's Dreyfuss of all people, a guy who sucks. But in reality,
I mean, like,
now as an old man, but like here,
television, Daniel Stern, The Wonder Years, was a fantastic narrator.
He's a fan. Yeah, no, there's plenty of great narrative. It's like I'm splitting hairs to some degree, but like it's more like anytime I'm watching Stand By Me, it feels like this is the greatest narration of all time. You know that feeling where it's like clearly I could probably point out 7 other narrators. Werner Herzog. I mean, like there's so many other great narrators also. But when I'm watching Stand By Me, in the moment, I'm like, there's nothing better than how he's doing this.
I'm sorry, I'm not imagining Werner Herzog narrating this film.
And then he picked the he picked the vermin out of his crotch and realized there were many, many more to come. But no, it was hard this time watching it. Just like it's been a minute, and I'm like, I'm gonna deal with the Chris scene. Think about River Phoenix being dead. Think about Joaquin meaning some of that phone call. Think about Rob Reiner being dead. Like it's just like
what's happening to Corey Feldman in his life during this time
like,
too. Like it's all like, oh, look at these boys and stuff, but like bad things happen to Corey right now too.
At this time, yes, at the very least of that commentary, he's at a point where he's sober and like he's been recovering, and it's like, and he talks about like he's having these moments with River Phoenix, like trying like it doesn't matter. Like it's just there's so much in here now that feels like it's less so when you watch like Poltergeist or whatnot, right? Where you have these sort of like stories that come with it, or Exorcist, where you have these stories that come with it. But watching this movie, because it's such an innocent movie and it's such a friendly movie and whatnot, and you're like, there's so much like horrible stuff that surrounds the things that like that are involved in it now, and it's like, this is tough. But the movie is fantastic. I mean, I'm not trying to get too far off topic, but it was just a surprisingly rough watch for me.
It wasn't off topic. It was on topic.
Well, no, it's and I think the nature of this movie makes it very much on topic. I mean, not to be crass, but this is different.
It wasn't getting even with Dad chat during Extremities.
You're right. And it's not, and like, and Gordy's whole deal is he's still grieving his brother, and the fact, and he's dealing with like, who am I in my life now without the, that this other kid is good, this my older brother who is like the godsend is gone, and I'm left, and people, there's just like a lot there, and that's just beyond just like the fun of this movie. There's a lot going on that works on the dramatic side that's really effective, and that just has like an escalation because of like real world events. Outside of that, this has got to be like one of the best like R-rated movies that kids should watch movies. Like I can't like easily, right? I mean, like it's because it's just swearing. Like there's nothing like and it's swearing in the way that kids would swear at that age. So it's like this is a perfect movie for anybody, and specifically kids that are coming of age or whatnot. So it's like there's everything. This movie is fantastic. I mean, it doesn't have Jeff Goldblum regurgitating stuff onto John Getz's volume, but I mean, what movie does? So it's still one of the top movies of the summer.
Right? Yeah, it's got both that factor of being like a great movie, but also it doubles as like one of those nostalgia movies for that decade too, in a weird way, like that people go back to, with things and stuff. Like I really like this is a movie I don't watch enough. I think like I'd watched it back when I was younger. I didn't really carry it with me as much as I should, but this every time I've gone back to it, I'm like, this is really fucking good. This is just everything. It is like John Cusack, one of the best like flashback family members ever in a movie. Because
better than Kevin Costner.
Up there. Sorry, what was that?
I said better than Kevin Costner.
Ooh, harsh, but fair.
Yeah, he's still
But like, I love John Cusack's one of my favorite.
The body.
Yeah. Favorite actors of all time, and just every scene here is just it's masterful with him just building this guy that you hear about in the voiceover, but then lives up to it and is there within the presence. Like it's a lot. I mean, probably Cusack doesn't know it because they haven't recorded the strong voiceover. Maybe he's seen the script, but like he's living up to everything that's there in there. And I believe that it's funny because like the dad is played by the closeted gay S&M gym teacher from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh, he is that also. Yeah,
fair.
Yeah,
plays that guy too.
Right. Yeah, and then the mom is the 80s mom from I can't remember her name right now, but Gremlins, Back to the Future, like, and she's here as a mom again. But this is the ultimate. I think kids like this is a boy movie, but I think girls could relate to watching it easily because it's about camaraderie, it's about friendships, it's about this one life event that is the end of things, the beginning of others. Kiefer Sutherland's really menacing with it as well. Like it just really works. And the camaraderie of the cast, like it leaks to the screen. There's no wonder that like I said, they're touring with this movie. Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton, and Corey Feldman, they still get along. It makes me feel like if you were on a Rob Reiner movie, you were part of a family, similar to like a Wes Craven movie, where everybody gets along, has such a good time with it, and shows you his power as a director, no matter film.
By the Oscars that we saw earlier this year, where they had
everybody.
That was big. That was Billy Crystal was like mainly the shepherd behind that, and even though like most of them had not known each, because not everybody.
Corey was a little pissed he wasn't invited, but
you got a lot of people together that weren't necessarily in the same in the same films, but certainly like shared an experience with working with Rob Reiner. Like regardless of quality of the, and it's not. We don't need to get into the bad ones, but like. He certainly, he was a person people respected for sure.
Oh yeah, from actor to director, like he just was a powerhouse. He wanted, to be like he cared about the industry so much, and yeah, he won our hearts on television, and then went to the movies and created the stories that we love. Like his run here is just saying, like, is this one? This is coming off the Sure Thing, is it? Is that where he's?
Stand By Me?
Stand By Me?
No, he's coming off of Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Okay. Stand By Me, Spinal Tap, and then because he'll work with, he does too with Cusack.
This is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, Stand By Me,
yeah,
Princess
sure.
Bride.
Okay, so
When Harry met Sally,
this is that run. This is the run.
A Few Good Men, and if we sneeze and forget about North, we've still got the American president.
Is Sure Thing 85?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the Sure Thing was the second one.
I thought it was earlier. Okay, never mind. Okay,
and
his first proper narrative
Ghost
feature.
of Mississippi, but there are far worse movies.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody, you get up there, they start, it just happens.
One of my first written reviews as a critic was Flipped, which I quite like.
Which Reiner's got a run that I equate with John Carpenter and Dario Argento. Not those two, not as successful as Rob Reiner, and not as mainstream out there, and a lot of it's hindsight with them. But in the moment, Reiner had the moment too. But yeah, the Stand By Me is terrific. It's in the tops of Stephen King anything. It's got all the hallmarks. Even like there's even some sort of like spooks and terror, but they're natural life things that go with it too. That can be uncertainty.
Yeah, there's a
being
haunting
young
quality that's by nature of the fact that it starts. We're following a main character whose brother has died. Now their whole journey is to find another dead body, whatever reason, and even like the nature. Even when they get to the body, there's just something that's not like supernatural about, but there's something that's like, it's beyond them to like even get into like the nitty gritty of the body. The thing.
Score is fucking brilliant. Like
there's a pretty good song involved too.
Well, that's the thing. Like the score is like, you see the title, everybody knows the song, and I'm just gonna weave that fucker in. We're not gonna play it right away, but we're gonna give you little hints of it, and it's great. It comforts. It's like you're setting in, and I really think it's a genius move by the score to be like, you all know the song. We're not gonna fuck around here. We're gonna make this the song as much a character in this film as
they don't actually play the song until some key moments as well. They don't overplay it. It's when it can be.
It pulls on nostalgic heartstrings and stuff like at the right moments, and it's like it's utilizing that, but it also is working and harmoniously with what's going on. So it's not like it's just cheaply using "Stand By Me" the song to work at things that it's not going for or earning. It's working in tandem with them. It's
and I think the fact that the mood is so melancholy and eventually so tragic, it really works as, yes, it evokes nostalgia, but it's also partially about why we find ourselves nostalgic for, aesthets in, not necessarily positive reasons.
Yeah.
To simplify, we are nostalgic. Nostalgia is a way of mourning, basically. And I find that far more compelling than like when we usually talk about nostalgia in a pop culture sense over the last decade or so.
Right.
Also, "Stand By Me" was one of my all-time favorite songs, period, regardless of this movie. But
and a little, we hear this series as eerily come in. We started first time we had River Phoenix summer of '93, 30 with like one of his last movies, and he did. I don't think he saw before he died. And here we are at the beginning of River Phoenix, completely different.
He's tremendous here. Too. He's just such a. I mean, like, I get what you're saying, Scott, to a degree, as far as like it feels almost like he's too well, but like it's just the way he presents what he's talking about, especially when he gets into the story about like, how he's just seen as this bad kid that even like, whether or not he actually stole something or did whatever he did. And it's like, it's beyond the fact that that's how they treat him. And he has to like, accept this fact that that's what he's deemed as like in the society that he's around. It's just like stuff like that. It's just so the awareness he has and the way he's processing it in these moments or whatnot, it allows for these monologues to not feel like corny or over the top. Instead, they just feel very authentic to kids that are just that are developing and trying to like understand where they sit.
The fact that it almost feels in the moment, too insightful. That's me grasping at straws to just prevent this entire conversation from being nonstop superlatives.
Yeah.
It did cross my mind. On the other hand, who cares? Because it works. It's a movie. It's true to the characters. It's true to the arcs.
The thing I do like to think about is this movie ends, or like let's say the summer ends and they've just like pulled a gun on Kiefer, and he's like, all right, fine, I'm out of here. Those kids are getting beat up left, right, and center every day at school, right? Like it's not like they're gone.
They get horrible pranks done to them. They get horrible retaliation.
Those kids are stripped and thrown in the hallways every day.
Every day until those bullies end up getting trapped in the deadlights or whatever.
But
save me, Pennywise.
But the movie at least like finds some fun grace notes for some of it. Like it's because it's so awful to Chris, and even like Feldman's just like he gets lost somewhere. I don't know. He's like gone. But at least it gives Jerry O'Connell, who's just like, oh, I found a penny, or like whatever, he lands on the ground and then walks off. And it's so nice for him. But yeah, I did, thinking of the aftermath of this specific situation. Those kids are getting beat up all the time. It's like,
yeah,
like that's the novel Richard Dreyfuss is writing about.
The next body on the train tracks will be yours.
Rob Reiner also saved the bear. Speaking of things that Rob Reiner did, so
he saved the bear.
He saved the bear, so he's got that going for
But he
him.
couldn't save Milo or Otis.
A show that was consistently good for me. I don't know about you, Aaron. I
finished it this afternoon. And
I finished it yesterday, and I was like,
wait a minute. Are we referring to a season I haven't watched yet? God damn it.
Well, technically he's not in because he's not in this season, but he did.
Okay.
But he does like.
Oh, that's right. He was in season 4.
Yeah, but he does come up with like the actual. So he's like, oh, there it is. There's a solution. he saved the bear. Good for him.
The bear. Yeah. So Stand By Me. If you haven't seen it, what's going on?
It's you can stream it anywhere.
It's all over the place.
Always somewhere.
Yeah, it's readily available. I think it's even on like Tubi now. Like, so boom, there you go. All right, so we'll move on. Stand By Me was a popular song of its time. Let's look at popular songs of these times as we hit to the Casey Kasem American Top 40.
American Top 40.
On American Top 40, I'm Casey Kasem.
Hits from coast to coast.
The countdown continues on our way to number 1.
Here are the top 10 songs from that. Number 10, staying there, is Edge of Heaven by Wham. Number 9, dropping a spot, Rumors by Timex Social Club. Dropping 3 spots to number 8, We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off by Jermaine Stewart. Jumping up 2 spots, Take My Breath Away, Berlin at number 7. Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling is number 6. Peter Cetera drops 3 spots to number 5 with Glory of Love. Belinda Carlisle is at number 4 with Mad About You. Jumping 3 spots here is Bananarama and Venus, which actually we covered that video years ago on the show, part of the Products of the Panic series, as it was featured as being satanic in a video about Satanistic stuff that Tori and I covered. It was interesting. Steve Winwood's Higher Love is number 2, which means the number 1 song still, or jumping number 1 here, is Papa Don't Preach. This is the Madonna version of it. It's our last number 1 here for 1986. As always, watch the Friday music video series. This week on Friday will not be one of these songs. It's a song that debuts in September. It's Press Maxon and I will be doing Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. And as you know, Prez will always announce what the holiday episode around Christmas and Hanukkah will be for the show on that episode. So stay tuned for that. And
also Walk Like an Egyptian?
Yeah. I also Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yes. Oh.
Susanna Hoffs. She's kind of easy on the eyes. But, yeah.
No, I mean for the Hanukkah episode.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well.
Yes, she's very easy on the eyes. Sorry, what was that?
More of a Passover thing than Hanukkah, but go on. I'm kind of Jewish.
It was a bad joke anyway. Nobody laughed. We don't need to analyze it.
Because it was bad. That's why.
I just said it was bad. I literally said it was bad. I'm confessing.
All right. And now we're standing Leatherface to face. Isn't Texas a crazy place? Just when I thought the saw was out of gas, you go and save the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, the final film of the summer of 1986 at 40, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Part 2, playing in 1,474 theaters.
13 years ago, it began. And ever since, people have lived with the fear that on any lonely road, on any moonless night, in any quiet shadow, the terror could return. Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Part 2. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Guys, I'm very excited that this is the last one. I was so pumped when I was like, oh, we're going to end on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. This is directed by Tobe Hooper, written by L.M. Kit Carson, based on the film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, starring Dennis Hopper, Caroline Williams, Jim Cito, Bill Moseley, and Bill Johnson as Leatherface. Tobe Hooper composed the movie with Jerry Lambert, and Richard Kouris shot this movie. It's only one of 6 movies ever shot, and I didn't know what the other ones were. So this movie is about a radio host that is victimized by the cannibal family as a former Texas Marshal hunts them. This is the last film in Tobe Hooper's 3-picture deal with Canon Films, which had Life Force, Invaders from Mars, which we talked about earlier this summer, and now here we are with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Have we ever had a summer where a director had 2 legitimately new films in there?
I feel like we might have, actually. I'm trying to think. I feel like that came up at some point.
I know Spielberg, I think in 82... we had E.T., but there was also a re-release of Raiders, I believe, in 82, but that's
and
not
of course
new.
Poltergeist.
Shut the fuck up.
You're gonna Toby.
Worth it.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of when we had 2 director doing 2 in our summer, but
I'll look into that. It sounds familiar, like we had some random thing come up or something. But
I know we've had actors in plenty of crisscrossing movies easily, but maybe a writer. I don't know. So, I'll leave it up to you. No order. Who wants the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 first?
And I dressed for it, so
yeah. There you go. Oh, you earned it.
This movie's a gas. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever. Period. Let alone movies. Period. And the more I look, like, I didn't see Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. No, I mean it was like a while off. But I didn't see it till I don't know, somewhere in the 2000s. But it it's definitely like it's very much like the Saw 2 of the franchise, as far as the thing you think the first one is what the second, or what the series is based on the first one, is what the second one establishes, as far as but it's gory, it's wildly over the top, it establishes the basic I mean, the formula never really changes all that much in these movies. This one's almost not exactly a remake, but it certainly hits a lot of the same beats towards the second half. What I love is this sort of, I don't know, the craziness of everything that's going on. Where the first one, there's a lot of, earned build-up, because you're watching characters that are not necessarily looking for trouble, but they certainly infringe upon an area that they don't need to, and trouble finds them. Where this movie, it's like a lot of circumstance is like the reasoning behind like why things occur. Where it's just like, oh, there's this wild car chase and it's been recorded, therefore we need to like find the person that recorded it. And meanwhile there's like a sheriff that's heard about these horrible things happening, so he's also like, there's just a lot of like things coalescing because they just kind of have to, because that's the plot. I know this movie is not too unsimilar to something like Gremlins 2, where it's made not necessarily out of spite, but it's made of like, all right, you want me to do one of these, huh? Like, sure, I'll do it. I'll do the most extreme version possible and get crazy with it. And that's what we get. We get a lot. I mean, Tom Savini's doing the makeup here, and it looks fucking spectacular. You get this unhinged Dennis Hopper performance in the year where he's, he's at like, this is his low point for him.
Better movie, but this is his spawn right before The West Wing.
Yeah, well, but yeah, this is his low point, when he has, Blue Velvet the same year. But he's still
going for it in both.
he is a riot in this movie as well. Like you watch these performances back to back. It's like he might not have felt that way, but he's certainly given it his all in both movies. It feels very fun both times around. The use of the villains here, like Leatherface. I like that Leatherface has like more of a character in this one than the last one. Like, there's a character there for sure. There's like a stunted kid in the first one, where this one's like a guy like
he's hitting puberty. He was a kid in the last one.
So now he's like, and I use he loosely because I get a little confused with Leatherface, but they don't self-identify. But like he's got a crush, and yeah, he's trying to like figure things out, and he's got weird motions going on. Plus, he's wearing a leather face and all that.
Hair where he did not usually have hair before.
Yeah, exactly. His armpits, and
his voice is getting deeper.
His voice is getting deeper for sure. But yeah, the whole unhinged nature of the family just gets amped up. And you get this wonderful performance from Bill Moseley as Chop Top, a name that is so wonderful, along with the makeup design of him, where he has this steel plate that's visibly outside of his head. like, and you get this, just like the way it amps up, like the basic stock, the stock of characters of the first one for this movie is like wild to behold. It doesn't make any of it better than the first movie because the first one has such like a unflinching nature to what it's doing, and obviously there's like a self-control going on or whatnot. But if you want just like a party horror movie, as far as like the kills are wild, the chases are wild, the soundtrack's a lot of fun. I forgot Goo Goo Muck was on this movie, and Wednesday made it so fucking popular, but like it's here too. It's like, oh yeah, that's fun. Like it's just like a blast to watch. Like the first one certainly, like I feel like especially when you watch horror movies in like the right atmosphere, like Halloween or Evil Dead, where you watch them because you want to watch them for the sake of the horror aspect of them. They're really effective. This one, I mean, you could argue like some scenes are scary in this film. There's some jump scares that really. I know you have one, Brandon, that you really like in this movie that works a lot. And they're like the scares are there if you want it, but it's such a, like I said, the party horror movies I think more where it's at. Like it's not quite Evil Dead 2 as far as the nonstop slapstick zaniness of it, but it's like it's a real fun watch. And you can tell that just from the fucking Breakfast Club poster that they have in this movie. It's like it knows what it's doing. So yeah, this movie is a joy to get into.
Scott,
if you watch one Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie with your children, make it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I'm only half joking. Because yeah, I mean it was weird because this was the first, again, I'm 6 years old, I paid attention to the posters, and like this was sort of hyped up as like the most extreme, horrifying, dear God, how did this even end up in theaters horror movie ever made? Now, by the time I saw this early college, I think, doesn't matter. I was aware, I had seen the first one. I think I had seen, this was after all the remake. It doesn't matter. Point being, by the time I had seen this, I was taken aback, not in a bad way, because I had a good time with it, with, again, how goofy and farcical and campy, for lack of a better term, it is. Although, to be fair, I think the first half is laid straighter than what follows. Sure. And I think the first half works as sort of a, extreme horror movie, pardon the expression. And then, once she ends up, on a date with Leatherface, then of course it just goes there and never lets up. And yeah, the chainsaw metaphor is like one of the least subtle subtexts in any horror movie I've ever seen. And that's almost a compliment. But it's fun. And it's fun, as you said, in a way that like the first one isn't, and it's not supposed to be. But you're right, it does sort of toe the line between being, forgive me, because we just saw Evil Dead Burn last night. It's like, if the first one is like 2013, dear God, this is, what the fuck is happening? This is closer to, as you said, Evil Dead 2, where the stuff is there, but it's almost in good cheer. That being said, the effects are terrific. It's a very well-made film, considering the budget and what I assume the limitations. You're right. Dennis Hopper doesn't act like he's in a slump. I mean, I joke about Spawn, but you can see Martin Sheen contemplating suicide in that picture.
He didn't get the virus and checked.
It's Apocalypse Now hotel room.
Yeah.
Every time.
I wanted a mission, and for my sins, they gave me one. Spawn.
These are the real Badlands.
But this, I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would just say this was Dennis Hopper doing his thing, right before Blue Velvet, and he's about to get typecast as a larger than life villain in any number of films, everything from Speed to Super Mario Brothers, or
Hoosiers is around here
Hoosiers
too as well.
is big, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's a different. That's not this. Was Hoosiers before?
It's
was Hoosiers
86.
before
It comes
this?
out. We talked about it earlier. It comes out they do an awards run for it at the end of the year this
So
year.
that was
in
too
86.
soon to be his reward for Blue Velvet.
Right.
Okay, I'm just curious because that certainly is artistic. That's his The Untouchables. If you're Sean Connery.
Well, I mean, the acclaim that he's getting for Hoosiers is not because of also Blue Velvet. It's like,
Yes.
If anything, it's like this would be his Norbit, except it's a different kind of thing. Because we're like, weren't you also in that Texas Chainsaw movie?
Speaking of Michael Keaton in Need for Speed, I still think that's what cost him the Oscar in 2015. I don't know. That's
what Need for Speed.
It's the only movie I've ever seen where Michael Keaton almost ruins the movie, which is a sentence you don't normally utter in any other film.
Okay.
Not even Jack Frost's, which not his fault.
Yeah, but you'd have to remember that he's even in that to begin with. Norbit is Eddie Murphy is Norbit. I mean,
I remembered.
I know you remember because you're the one.
I couldn't forget.
I did the Blu-ray for Norbit. I've seen it plenty.
Oh, I mean Need for Speed. Which, as again, it's like I don't hate that movie, but he's awful in it, which is so. Anyway,
I know you don't hate that movie because you tried to say that it's better than the Raid 2 at the time. So I'll just leave
not.
I'll just leave that out there.
Did it?
Need for Speed put it on the Blu-ray. It says better than the Raid 2.
Scott
Mendelson.
Forbes.
Well, it's better than when I quoted for, I think, God's Not Dead for a line in a box office column.
Nothing beats your Dark Tower quote, which is, what is it? It's like
Am I on the Dark Tower box?
Oh fuck, yes you are.
No. What was I saying?
It's literally like
it's fine.
These actors are great, or these actors are in it. It's something that's it's literally there's no actual complimentary phrase. You ready to look it up?
Do we have time for me to look this up, or do we want to?
I think Brad's looking for it. It's a very specific phrasing where it's it's not actually a compliment. It's just acknowledging.
Again, even that one on its own.
It delivers Idris Elba as an action hero, Matthew McConaughey as a supernatural baddie, and just enough horror and violence to get the blood pumping.
Did I say blood pumping? That doesn't sound like me, but okay. Maybe I was tired.
It delivers Idris Elba as an action hero. That's just a statement.
God damn it! I've become that which I despise, or at least I was, 10 years ago. Now I'm not. Drew Barrymore is Cinderella. AI is a fable, a prophecy. That one still pisses me off because there's a shit people that genuinely love that movie 25 years ago. You could have put any of their fucking reviews on there. But anyway, back to the Dennis Hopper. Which one is this? Oh, yes, Texas Chainsaw. Either that or Hoosiers. I couldn't remember which. But yeah, this is a really fun, interesting, weirdly surprising, because again, when I finally came to it, I wasn't expecting it to be a jolly romp, which it basically is, all due respect to the actual carnage.
Yeah, the chili eating contest and a fun DJ. It's got everything.
There's assholes that get their heads sawed off in the opening scenes. That's fine.
Big college football matchup going on behind the scenes of everything.
That
which has cut scenes about it.
The big chase, and Brandon, I know you have tons of things you want to say about this movie.
I'm going to be talking about this movie.
But the big car chase at the beginning, I just keep thinking, just stop the car. What are you doing? Stop driving.
Right.
That's I was watching. I was like, just put brakes.
Slam on the brakes. Make a U-turn. Go the other way.
I remember when I first watched, I was like, this is pretty scary because there's this random guy going like this, outside a car. Yeah, that's terrifying. And I'm like, wait, just stop the car. What are you doing? Turn around. Do it the other way.
Pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes.
Get off the phone. Pump the brakes. Yeah.
Brad, you have a pretty sordid history with this film.
I love this movie. Genuinely. It's weird how I've come to it. It was a weird. I remember I got at the video store back in the day. The first movie fucking chilled me. Like, it was just like insanity, like I'd never seen on screen before. I didn't know how I felt about it. I was like, what the hell? Wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, slasher movie. It's not a slasher movie. This movie also, I don't think, is really a slasher movie. It has elements, but I ran this movie and just was like, what the hell was this? This is nuts. They took nuts and went nuts. Like, I just couldn't describe it. It was such a weird movie. This movie, if you've been keeping up with me over the years through writing and all this, I've written about this movie many times. I've mentioned stuff about podcasting with this movie many times. And if you follow me with the Halloween movies, it comes up because of things. But in a weird turn of events in my life, this is one of the movies I've owned the most in my life. Because I've owned it twice on VHS. Pretty sure I've owned it. I owned it like 3 times on DVD. I owned it 3 times on Blu-ray, and 4K. I bought it once. Done. I'm not gonna splurge out, but like, that's a lot for Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Well, it is. That's not even a criticism. Might be a badge of honor.
So on VHS,
yep.
On VHS, they released it. There was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and then their Anchor Bay put it out and said, "Hey, at the end of this tape, there's gonna be a trailer and deleted scenes." Cool. I wasn't gonna get that version, but at the time there was a quest to find Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers producer's cut on VHS, and I was like, "Well," I was talking to somebody. He's like, I'll send you a copy if you can send me a copy of the new Anchor Bay Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, make a copy of it, send it. So I was like, well, yeah, I have that. So I got my parents to take me to Suncoast, picked up the Anchor Bay Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I put my VCRs together to record it over while I slept. I got the tape, put it in the mail. Done. My Halloween producer's cut came. Oh, it was awesome. I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is crazy. I've never seen movies so different before.
All right, you're great. Keep doing that.
A couple days after that, I got an email from the guy I made this exchange with. Scathingly mad. Because history shows the VHS from Anchor Bay for that Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 listed deleted scenes at the end. Does not include the deleted scenes at the end of the VHS tape. I didn't check that before I did this. I have apologized profusely. I wrote an article about this over a decade ago, and I told that person, if they're listening now too, I sincerely apologize for that. But
I'm sure they're doing Cape Fear style pull-ups of a
right?
eye tattoo on their back right now.
Gloriously, DVD came, and those fuckers got put on it. The third edition of the DVD came and it did that. But they've been available now. I am sorry to this guy. But yeah, but this movie rocks.
That is why your seller rating is only 4 stars out of 5.
4 stars. It wasn't a seller. It was just, hey, my address, your address, boom. This is why you don't do under the table deals.
Speaking of under the table, the only thing I really want would be bloopers of Cook under the table, like doing all the outtakes of him explaining how he got his ass shot. I just want to see all the improv lines of him being like, "Whoa, you took the beans out this time.
Oh,
my bunker's been busted." Like it just seems like there's like hours of that of him just under the table describing what happened to his butt.
So over the years, I've just grown to love this movie even more because it's so batshit fucking crazy. You can't believe it. You can't believe Dennis Hopper showed up and went like, "I'm game for this. What are we doing?" Like, there's this scene where he is testing out the chainsaws and the guy's just like, "Oh." It is marvelous. I can't describe it. If you can't get on this wavelength, holy shit. Because not only does it deliver the batshit crazy, it delivers the horror action goods. It's weirdly funny, and it's actually got some good scares and intensity. the moment when Stretch comes out and Bill Moseley as Chop Top's sit, because we've never met Chop Top before.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's this guy? And he's sitting there in the lobby at the radio station, and he's got the hanger, and he's scratching and eating it and lighting it up, and it's just weird exchange. It's just building this. You're like, oh my god, what is this? What is this guy? He's gross. It's like, what is this? And then it delivers one of the best jump scares of all time when he talks about going to the record thing, hits the lights, and Leatherface is there, and it works every time. It still kind of gets me. I showed my son this movie like a year ago, first time, and I'm waiting at that part. He jumped out his fucking seat. He didn't care for the movie too much. He was a little odd about it, but he's like, that part, jeez, that got me. I'm like, yeah, that'll get you. People always talk about Exorcist 3 with the like, no, this right here gets it going. And from then on, it's the loudest goddamn movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It is just chainsaws and screams and wreckage going on for like 7 minutes. And it's wonderful. And I got to shout out, I got to see her last year at a convention with her. Carolyn Williams, Stretch, is one of the best and most unique final girls ever in a movie because
I really like her.
She's confident in a way. She still gets scared. She's like aggressive, and she's got her accent's great. Like it screams Texas final girl like no other. And
like Marilyn Burns is a tough act to follow as far as kind of the stuff they put her through. This does a good job of giving you another person.
I buy her as a radio DJ too. Like it really works, and doing journalism stuff and being like local celebrity. It's like, yeah, she ain't gonna be anything outside of Texas, but this works here. And her relationship with RJ, is that what she calls him or something?
Yeah,
or something. That works, and it's actually like sad what happened. Like, and then when she gets confronted with his like mutilated body, it's like weird and affectionate at the same. It's so this movie pulls off stuff that like you can't believe it's pulling off if you're vibing with it, if you're in there. And I also, one of the things I want to say, like there's movies where we talk about how expensive they are, and we say, well, hey, at least all the, like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, hey, all the money's on the screen. They didn't, you can say they didn't waste it. This movie, you go, there's got to be more money than they have on the screen, because this is when they go to the carnival place where the hideout is, that is just like this madness of mazes and crazy shit and all the nutty. Like it just that's a lot of money there, because it's a lot of, they didn't find this shit like this. And it's kind of cool because like Art the Clown in Terrifier 2 has a layer similar that reminds me of it.
No, very much. I always thought Terrifier 2 is very much inspired specifically by this movie as far as utilizing a theme park for a layer. Yeah. Right. And I like it because when you get to the layer, you're like, oh, we're wrapping up 40 minutes left. Yeah. 40 minutes left. There's a lot of time. Like it's just nutty. And they're banter and stuff. They hype up. They recreate the dinner table scene from the first one, but make it even crazier and more ruthless. And you're just like, I don't kill Stretch. Like Stretch is like, don't, but like Stretch and Sally both hit this level where you don't like the shit that's happening to them, and you don't want that to happen. And then the movie has the perfect, like, this movie apparently needed reshoots. There was stuff to be done, and Canon Films was like, no. Like, you bombed 2 movies for us already. You're gone over, but like with this one, no. So this had to be like, the ending had to be figured out in the editing room. Like, that's pretty much what they didn't get it. And we are wealthier for that. And it ends, I mean, the end with Caroline Williams on the mountaintop ringing the chainsaw. I love that so much.
Oh!
Well, I like that it wisely figures out that like the hitchhiker's kind of like the worst of all of them. Like as far as like that's the one that like their purpose is just to be like a menace and an asshole. Where like Leatherface is just like this confused kid. Cook's just like, yeah, you're in my world. Like, get out, don't be here, then you won't be in trouble. Grandpa's just grandpa. Yeah. So like the hitchhiker character, or like Chopped Top in this scenario, that's like the one where it's like they're going out of their way to like be a dick. Like, and so like the fact that like that's the final showdown, it really works in this film really well. In the same way, like the other one, in the previous one, Leatherface is out there chasing him, but like the hitchhiker's still like knifing and shit. It's like, God, get the fucking guy out of here. And he gets hit by a truck. This one, yeah, the stunt they do to knock him out, like he like falls down the thing. I was watching this, I was like, that's like a really tough, like that seems difficult. Like he has to fall down onto like what looks like not a soft like rock and then roll into a pipe. Like, how do you do that as a stunt person like backwards? Like that seems
right.
nuts.
It is crazy, and Bill Moseley's like this is
He's
great.
so
like,
good.
Like,
yeah,
this is his career. Like boom, goes through this, but like, I mean, it's weird because he has a B movie career. You can't just go like Bill Moseley. I mean, he like his most prominent stuff is probably when he does stuff with Rob Zombie movies. Yeah. But I mean, because he'll be like a couple years later, he pops up on Unsolved Mysteries, like just as a dramatization actor. So that's like the most like mainstream stuff he's getting at the time. And he also he winds up playing the killer in Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, and like. Just like weird roles like that, like it's like when, kill for the Bill Moseley career.
You get guys that are like 14th build and like some like random TV drama, but they're like the lead of a Hallmark rom-com, that kind of thing, or like
right,
like it's that kind of situation.
Well, yeah, the girl, like in Ghostbusters, there's the girl who is the blonde that's at the beginning doing the test with Bill Murray. She's the lead in a Christmas slasher movie that the guy who was in Last House on the Left they directed. 12 Good Night. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like Finn Wolfhard, who does nothing at all in those Ghostbusters movies. He's the star of Stranger Things. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Heard of it. I'm gonna check it out. But no, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is this is my second favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and I probably this
new generation
have watched this more than the original. Maybe I don't know. I recently did watch the original like 8 times this year so far.
You gotta like plucked it out there
because I watched every version on the Dark Skies release that had all the like the Grindhouse 35 millimeter and all the VHS. I was fascinated by it. But this movie, yeah, like this is a great worthy sequel. I think it's high quality. I know it's going to sound strange to anyone who's seen this movie just once, but yeah, I don't know what it is. The score is like really cheap and shitty, and I love that. Like it's just like, oh, I'm just going to play around on my keyboard, and it
ripping
works.
on Psycho a lot. I noticed that this time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Psycho riffs specifically in this one.
Yeah.
Where are you, Scott? Where are you with this franchise, by the way, in general? Like it's such a
you have Texas Chainsaw 3D at the top, and then you have jokes aside. Obviously, the first one is the one that started it all. Blah blah blah. But honestly, my second favorite is A New Beginning, the prequel in 2006.
Oh, you weren't joking.
No.
Wait, no. Sorry,
not 4. No,
sorry. That's Next Generation.
Sorry.
Scott, you and I are very big. Yeah. That's my third
Jordana
favorite.
Brewster, not Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
No, I like that. I caught up with that one later, and I do because I wasn't big on the remake, but I liked the prequel to the remake.
Yes, I think it's
excellent. based on you guys recommending it so much. I was like, I think I'm going out finally because I so disliked the remake that I was like, I don't know why I want to watch another one of these. Then I finally watched. Is like this does beyond like a few things. It does the job of like what.
Yeah.
It remembered to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. It has cannibals.
Yeah.
So what happened? I was at work and I was like, I got the subtitle disc for it the weekend before it came out in theaters, and I popped it in. And I was like, I'll do subtitles on this one. I wanted to see this movie anyway, and I was like, I can watch it for free and not have to go to the theater for it. And I was like, holy shit! I was like, hey Scott, the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre is pretty good. I think you stayed after work to watch it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. Yeah, that was pretty good.
This feels like the anti-Iraq war drama we need.
Right.
I didn't see 3 until it came to Blu-ray, and I really.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, that's
really
a good one.
That one too, and I didn't know that Ken Foree.
Yeah.
And I know Vigo was in it. I just never seen it. But like, and I'd seen Next Generation like on HBO like a long time ago at some point. So like, but I never.
Yeah, that movie just never. That's like I mentioned Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, where I give it chances, I go back and I'm like, this time I'll soften, and I never do. I just
but yeah, I like obviously like 2. I like 3 quite a bit. 4 is a wash. The remake, you guys like it more than I do. I think I'm not big on it.
Yeah.
But
I think it's fine on its own terms. I'm not going to fight anybody over
like
it.
I won't deny things about it work, but just for me, this doesn't much. But yeah, beginning I think we all think rocks.
Yep.
3D, Brandon, you have like a weird thing for
It's
3D.
stupid
'cause of how
and
dumb it is.
funny.
I mean,
I
And
I'm
it's
not
got
more-
Alexandra Daddario. So
I'm
like,
just not, I'm too
enough
pissed off at the
time
past.
is almost enough time is almost passed that if they had the mother of all chutzpahs, they could like remake that movie where she's actually age appropriate.
right. Well, here's the thing. If you look at her from then to now, it's like, okay, I get it. That we were wrong. We were wrong. She can't.
She's
she
aged
can't.
She has not aged. So
Yeah. So the thing when 3D came out, the thing about that was like, you're so bad you can't even be the worst one. Like that was the thing with 3D. But now they made a prequel to that one. It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's called Leatherface.
Leatherface. Not to be
That one's
confused
like
with Leatherface.
more
the
of
Texas
a-
Chainsaw Massacre Part 3.
Like Malik Badlands wannabe, but
Yeah,
Leatherface is in
it's
it.
fucking awful.
I admire the ambition, but it's not a good movie at all.
No, and then
I
the
don't
last one
admire
that came out, I can't remember shit from it except from a scene on the bus.
I like,
and they
I'm
tried
not gonna, I'm not gonna go to bat for it, but I think because the other ones are so bad to me, we're like, well, there's something here. Except for what I didn't like was let's try to make it like Halloween and have a Marilyn Burns stand-in because she died. So let's have another character play her as a cop who has like a grudge to hold against fucking Leatherface years later.
Well, and Leatherface pulls the whole like Don Draper, like, I don't even think about you at all.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's kind of funny. But there's some, like you mentioned, the bus. There's some set pieces in there that are like. But now, what's it now? We have the director of Obsession, with produced by Glenn Powell.
Good luck.
And Scott's always ringing. He's always saying, "Yeah, keep trying," because they keep making all the money. So
Yes, exactly.
This
This time it's going to be different.
Yeah, Scott's
A24, such brave disruptors of the Hollywood industry.
But hey, I will say, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre did come in and change the game when the original came out. Then the remake changed the face of Hollywood because Psycho broke down the doors of nothing's off limits to be remade, but Texas Chainsaw was the Friday the 13th to the Halloween where it's like, let's just go to town on this shit.
But also, like, it was Michael Bay saying, like, I have a news production company that I'm going to keep doing this with.
Right. Well, yeah, but others came in and started remaking it as well. You get Bloody Valentine, then Halloween, and all, like.
And I think, to simplify this, and this could be, have you done an episode on horror remakes? Have you done? Oh, yeah. See, I remember listening to it, so I'm not crazy. But no, I think the ones that commercially at least worked were the ones that, have you seen the original? We don't give a shit. Enjoy. Because again, whether you think Texas 2003 is good, bad, whatever, it stands on its own. It's not banking on your knowledge of the original one as this unimpeachable masterpiece of our time. Unlike, I don't know, Nightmare on Elm Street, for example.
Well, same thing with Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, yeah.
That reason, yeah.
We stop at people in a mall.
No, it's still his the Owl movie.
It's sure.
The official title is That Owl Movie. But no, whatever. You're right. That was the one that kicked off the 2000s era of remaking seemingly unimpeachable horror classics.
It was that and
some
J
of
horror.
which
That was what we
worked.
had.
Yeah, that one gets
some of them.
The Ring also.
Stepfather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it also brought back like a grislier sense of horror, which leads to Saws and stuff like that being popular. So it really opened the gates in two ways.
It's a weird around the world because you have at the same time, like, you have the French extremity stuff going on overseas, and then you have J horror stuff happening, and so it's like the world is kind of all coalescing around like the same kind of stuff at the same time.
And it's a decade that I think people look on as the a bad part, like for horror, like in terms of general populace or like people with like loving horror. There, people were down on horror for that decade for the most part.
I think if you're
there was money being made.
That's
so
the
like,
thing.
yeah.
It's compared to the '90s where horror is a dead zone for the first half. Money's being made throughout the 2000s. People just really resent the fact that
they're very vocal.
They're creatively bankrupt to an extent.
Right.
And I think too much of the the 2000s era horror was defined by the popular conception of what Hostel and Saw was, regardless of whether. I don't want to, I hate to use the torture porn, but that's basically how people tend to sum up the decade in a nutshell, even though it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, even what you just said a minute ago got me thinking between J-horror, extremities, Texas Chainsaw, Wrong Turn, and eventually Saw, is there like a in this essay, I will how the differing nations reacted to 9/11. In this essay, I will blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
We have years of Halloween of horror episodes out now that deal with this very topic.
Right.
So, yeah, we're good.
Oh, I know. I remember listening to the remake one. But yeah, it's fun. And
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, fun.
But
Dennis Hopper is like, and then I'll shut up, but it's like, yeah, he's good. But I mean, he walks a weird line because he's not entirely unhinged. He seems to be empathetic and like
that's
level-headed.
Except that's the key to that performance. Like he's not just like going ham.
Yeah.
He has like a purpose to be in the movie.
It's like you genuinely believe that if he were to find these people, he would maybe try to arrest them first. It's not this, pure rage-filled going. Except he does things like, I want you to play this radio of the massacre, which will probably get you fired. And what, they came after you? Who could have seen that coming?
Nobody comes out. He's like, sorry, girl, I used you.
Yeah.
He'd miss it.
I guess I got the idea. I got the notion that he wasn't expecting that. Otherwise, he would have been there waiting for him. But whatever.
So, Scott, with such a reputation and such a love we have for this film, it surely took the box office by storm this weekend, right?
On a curve. The Fly was still number one in its second weekend of release, earning $4.7 million, dropping 32% in 1,200 screens. It would have $15.7 million after 10 days of release. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Coming in number two was Stand By Me, which, I'm sorry, had been slowly expanding over the last 3 weekends. It expanded to 745 theaters. That's plus 729 from the previous weekend, where it earned $3.8 million. That's plus 1,400% for a $5,000 per screen average, which was the biggest in the top whatever. It would have 4.7 million in North America by the end of its 17th day, and it would leg out like a mofo, earning $52.3 million domestically and like $10 overseas, whatever, who cares, on a $7.5 million budget. So it was incredibly profitable. I could just look this up. Hold on a second. I'm trying to think if it was like it made more money than like Carrie in the Dead Zone and whatever.
Well, this was at this point, Hooper was being pressured to do this, right, Brandon? Like he had made the other two, which were basically like blank checks.
It's kind of the same ordeal with George Romero had with the one studio where it's like, okay, we're gonna make a couple films, but one of them better be one of them dead zombie movies. And here it was like, you're making Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Forgive me,
too.
this is.
And
I'm talking about Stand By Me.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, I was just comparing that. There was like 3 or 4 prestige.
We're talking about King movies. Got it.
Yeah, the early King movies.
Sorry.
Carrie only made 34 million, and The Shining
Inflation
only made
Carrie,
47 million,
Inflation
44 in its original. Yeah, so this drama was actually more successful than even the well-liked popular Stephen King horror adaptations of that moment. So cool. Anyway, that was a digression. I apologize. I was curious.
Yeah.
Aliens, number 3, minus 22%, $3.4 million in 1,280 theaters. It would earn $61 million by the end of its 6th weekend. Top Gun, weekend 15, up 2 spots for what that's worth from number 6 to number 4. Added 6.7%, lost only 15 screens, still on 12. It and The Fly are both on exactly 1,201 theaters or screens. Anyway, it would earn $3.3 million in its 15th weekend for 124.4 end of 15 weekend total. And finally, the new releases. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from Cannon Films, opening on 1,474 theaters, which is the third widest of any release in theaters this weekend. It would earn $2.8 million for a $1,900 per screen average. It would eventually leg out, forgive me, I did not close all these, $8 million on a 4.7 budget. I'm guessing it made up for it on VHS.
I mean,
Call it a hunch.
Superman 4 wishes it could get that kind of business.
right.
If Texas Chainsaw had done better, maybe they could have afforded to give Masters Universe an actual ending. Anyway,
I'll be back.
Even when I was a kid, I knew it was full of shit. He wasn't coming back. Karate Kid Part 2, $2.8 million, minus 16% in its 10th weekend. Wow. Still on 1,449 screens, $93.6 million after 10 weekends. And then Armed and Dangerous, amusingly, on more screens than any other film this weekend. 1,500 and, yeah.
it's
John Candy Hive Rise, but they didn't because the film dropped 40% in its second weekend. 2.6 million, 9.
Too many screens. Like, who's seeing this movie?
I don't get because it's Columbia, and maybe they say you keep Armed and Dangerous or you lose Karate Kid. I don't know.
Yes.
They've also got
almost Labor Day. Get ready for Armed and Dangerous.
Right.
I mean, Columbia's relatively kicking ass this weekend. They've got Stand By Me. They've got the Karate Kid 2, and yes, they also have Armed and Dangerous.
Eugene Levy, baby, making those dollars all summer long.
And number 8, we've got Nothing in Common, which is supposed to be one of the leggiest wide releases of the summer. I'll have to double check that because it's still in its 4th weekend. It's dropping 20%, $2.5 million, $17 million after 24 days. And yeah, it has, it's only half done. It will eventually leg out to $32 million.
It sounds like the start of Hanks's run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, literally, yeah. This is
because I mean, Dragnet isn't a smash, but it makes I think 50 million, give or take.
It's not a flop, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the next summer, give or take. Anyway, Extremities, 2.4 million in 605 theaters from Atlantic Releasing Corporation, which I've never heard of. Mea culpa. It would eventually leg out to a whopping. Oh, okay. To be fair, it did leg out to $13.4 million in North America, which I have to imagine was a hit on what I imagine this film cost to make. And if I'm speaking out of tune, earn mea culpa. Yeah, because I don't have the budget, but I cannot imagine this movie was more than like, let's be nice and say $7 million because the actresses got paid a lot, but that's probably not the case. Number 10, Ruthless People, $2 million, minus 13%. $55 million at the end of its 9th weekend. Go Walt Disney, go. That's the top 10. Way down in number 20, Night of the Creeps with $220,000 in 70 theaters. Which, I mean, it's a $3,000 per screen average, so it's not awful on the mother of all curves. Unfortunately, that's as good as it gets because it only tops out at $592,000. I don't know the budget on that one. I don't know. But again, I'm guessing. Oh, you would know more than I did. It get like a bunch of VHS, DVD, whatever releases to
it does
eventually
now.
drag. Okay, I was curious. Because again, it's one of those movies I've always heard of. I just never got around to seeing. Touch and Go would open to around. Where am I? Touch and Go in 21st place, $127,000 and 51 screens. It would top out at a whopping $1.2 million. This is 1986, so I think at least the Dream Team is in 2 years. And is Fit and Sober 87? Or is that 88?
88.
Okay, 88. Dream Team 88 or 87?
1992. Or no, that was
that's the Olympics, you moron. No, I'm kidding. You know what? That's 89. So I'm wrong too. Okay, so Clean and Sober's 87-ish, 88. Beetlejuice. Batman does okay, I think. I have to look that up. So Keaton's okay for a while.
It got a sequel, so you got.
That's true. It did get a sequel. Yeah, unless I'm missing anything. I mean, Howard the Duck dropped 65% its 4th weekend.
Oh no!
Which Zoe Dutch is having a really great summer. So I'm happy that she'll be celebrating just in time to listen to us all like thirst over her mother in Howard the Duck from 40 years ago.
Here you go. She does listen
Zoe,
to the show.
Your mother's a fucking smoke show. She still is, and you're not bad either.
I got triple Dutch this past week. So all 3 of them.
Dutch.
And yes, the movie will have already come out by the time this airs, but Gail Doherty and the Celebrity Sex Pass is shockingly funny. I was shocked how much I laughed out loud while sitting in a theater watching it by myself.
Get yourself a pass to Gale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. All right. That concludes our movie portion of the summer of 86 at 40. We still have one more episode to go, so do not stop with this one. We have some fun for you next time. But till then, Aaron, where can people keep up with you?
Everything I do can be found on my personal Substack page, codeseek.substack.com. I write movie reviews for We Live Entertainment. I host a couple other podcasts. One is called Out Now with Aaron and Abe. My friend Abe and I, along with many other film critics and film fanatics, join to discuss movies on a weekly basis. And then there's the award-winning Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla, where fellow film critic and friend Terrence Johnson and I discuss the Godzilla films in chronological order. At this point, we should be starting up with season 3. Which is the Millennium Era, along with that Emmerich movie that some people saw. So yeah, check out all that.
Including yourself.
And I'm on all the socials at Aaron's PS4.
All right, Scott.
I am a semi-regular contributor to Buck News. I write, run, and maintain the Outside Scoop over at Substack. I also do a weekly podcast called The Box Office Podcast with myself and usually some combination of Lisa Lehman, as well as Jeremy Fooster from The Wrap, and 1 or 2 or 3 other younger, cooler, and more culturally relevant box office pundits and or film scholars, including periodically one of these two fine gentlemen, or both if the occasion arises, where we discuss what happened the previous weekend at a theater near you. And I'm on other socials at some variation of Scott Mendelson.
Okay. I'm on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch this episode as well as my 4K Blu-ray and DVD reviews. I will be upcoming appearances at Doctoberfest in October at Who North America for their little event, and Chicago TARDIS coming in November. Very excited about that one. Next week, as we took a look back on the summer of 86 at 40, we also take a ride on a surprise one last film from 3 of the most elite names in the business. All that and more as the summer of 86 at 40 concludes.
Summer, summer, summer of 86 at 40.